Hello there guys, how are you all doing today? We are going to be going into the first semi-finals here of the SCL Challenger Division Season 6. Obviously, one pin versus VP.Prodigy, but this is going to be an absolutely amazing game. What are your thoughts going into this one, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great game, semi-finals. I mean, I think it's a bit of a surprise that we see VP.Prodigy here, especially after the fact that they did play into the breach, but they bested them. And after a tough regular season, they really stepped up here in playoffs. One pin, they've looked solid throughout the whole season in general, so you've got to expect big things from either side. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting game and a great semi-final to kick things off.
And we'd like to kind of talk a little bit more, but we're going straight into the pistol round here. Obviously, you can see us on Dust 2 that has been selected by VP.Prodigy. An interesting pick for them because they haven't played it so far this season, including, both of their playoff games and obviously the 8 regular season games. So potentially this is going to be somewhat of a punish pick. Maybe they've seen some cracks in the one-pin defense on Dust, and that's why they've decided to pick it here today. And, realistically, their pistol round so far is looking very nice. They've got that opening pick. Shine's been dinked down to 6 HP as well. We've got a couple players low HP on their side, being Latic and Fen2k, but not going to be the biggest of their problems, and it's going to be this B-split now. Zuwu, the fact he's been able to find one and keep himself alive, gets the second, but he's going to get swarmed now. Result will find him. 2 versus 3 now. The B-bomb site on Dust 2, one of the hardest to retake here, so it is going to be a real struggle, especially with Shine being so low HP.
Yeah, no diffuse kit here on the CT side. I'm not sure if there is one dropped, but Shine really has to rely on his teammate. He falls instantly. Leaf gets found by Result. VP.Prodigy, great way to kick things off, winning the pistol. And obviously, you mentioned this could potentially be a bit of a punish pick here from one pin. Obviously, as VP.Prodigy haven't really played any of Dust at all, so it could be interesting to see how this one does shape up. But if VP.Prodigy can sort of get an early lead, potentially any sort of early jitters could sort of lean the way of one pin.
I'm not too sure what happened there. Clearly didn't want me in the server, but I'm back. But yeah, I feel like VP.Prodigy, they did start things off very nicely there. And obviously, this being their map pick, we need to see them find success because obviously the second and third maps being Inferno and Ancient, they're both very strong maps for the one pin side. And I feel like if VP.Prodigy, for them to try and close out this whole series, they're going to need a necessary win here on Dust. Obviously, we kind of, looking at this from the outside looking in, I feel like VP.Prodigy potentially going to be the underdogs in this one. Obviously, they were the underdogs against Into the Breach and they didn't seem to have much of a problem there. So you've got to imagine VP.Prodigy, they can step up massively and they can bring this one back.
You got to remember, Fred, they stepped up after losing 16-2 on the first map of the series against Into the Breach. Came back to win the final 2 maps, reverse sweeped Into the Breach, and sort of surprised, I think, everybody in the SCL.
Yeah, I feel like definitely, clearly stunned us, especially when losing their own map very, very dominantly. It's clear to see as well that they try and pick the punish picks on the first map, especially against these kind of tougher teams, because realistically it probably is their best chance at finding an early map win, but they need to try and secure this one. Obviously it is just the force buy from one pin. We've had 1 minute and 15 seconds and no kill's been found. I say that as Cheerful takes down a Zuwu. An important opening pick. Leaf still towards this goose position. Going to be sending the flashbang out. 5-7 in hand. The flash is good. Able to find one and will just fall away. We do have the scout posted up on the angle, but he's going to get swung now. Result finding Leaf. Shine just going to be backing away. He could get taken down here though. 4 versus 3 in the post plant. No kit in this round either. Chris7 very deep here, but he makes some steps and finds the frag still. They're trapped towards Guardian here. Shine can rotate his way on in.
Mishot there. Scouts finding each other and Cheerful looking back at the perfect time. It did get dicey there. A couple of players bought down low. Maybe just given a second chance. One pin could have capitalized on certain positions, but VP.Prodigy do win the second. They best the full buy, or force by at least, of one pin, and just going to be against the anti-eco now.
Chris7 was so unfortunate that was in the back lines in a perfect position to find maybe 2 or potentially even 3 kills. But the fool there gave away his information. Obviously, he did still get 1, but we could have seen a lot more. Flash is good for Result. We'll take down Chris7. They're looking for a second one here. Something you've spoken about as well, Charlie. The average age of this VP.Prodigy side, 18. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so clear to see that although they've got these youngsters, they're kind of they're old at the minds, if you know what I'm saying, because you know, to have the mental fortitude to come back after losing your own map 16-2 to a side like Into the Breach, it just goes to show that there's a lot of maturity and also a lot of experience on this young side.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams, even significantly more experienced ones, can sort of just crumble at a defeat like that, but definitely not VP.Prodigy. Smoke's going out towards A. Slightly missmoked. It shouldn't be that big an issue there. I was just against 3 USPs and the P250, but these are mistakes you sort of want to get out in these rounds, not against the full buys.
And obviously, there was no defenders there towards A, so even if it was on the full buy, wouldn't be much of a problem. Obviously, got 2 players towards middle and also the aggression through tunnels, because it's going to get taken down by Cheerful, though. Azuu does get harmed. Oh, nice find there, Shine. Might be able to find a frag with this MP9. It could allow him to get an AWP out in the next. Oh, and it certainly will. That is absolutely wonderful for Shine. Surely going to get taken down here, though, but finding 2 kills, one with the USP. Oh, he finds another with the MP9. Somehow not getting taken down. He's got 7k in the bank, Charlie. We're going to be seeing an AWP on Shine with full utility as well. Just these small little misplays that VP.Prodigy make there can completely impact how the round goes, because Shine's going to have absolutely everything he wants and more.
I think he got 1,500 kill reward there. 1 with the USP and 2 with the MP9, so definitely no complaints. Full util with the AWP there. That's something that you're not really going to see in your first full buy.
We do only have 1 kit. It is on Chris 7, but 1 pin. I don't think they're going to want to even allow VP.Prodigy to get the bomb down, let alone get on the bomb side. But I love this aggression towards middle. It is currently being held by Docs from window, but he's just jiggling between the 2 angles. This is going to be very tough. Obviously, the bomb is dropped towards middle. Latic could potentially find this pick now. Obviously, Latic's on the AWP as well. Aware of the jump spot, finds Docs. And that's a brilliant way for VP.Prodigy to find this opening pick. And that might force their hand to go towards the B-bomb site. It is just Azuu defending here. Once again, towards this back plat position. I feel like we see Azuu here all the time when defending towards B. And as the smoke fades, he gets a freebie. Just keeping his head down. Molotov will force him out. He goes for the peek. Doesn't have a smoke to deploy. The flash a little too shallow. Now it is going to be this B-pop here. Shine. Going to be searching for a pick towards middle. Great find onto Latic. Keeps it at a level playing field. And we've got this flank as well from Chris 7. Oh, but Lomic is aware. Still gets taken down. Man advantage now for 1 pin. They've got a lot of util for this retake. But they're playing it quite passively. They're waiting for a swing. Position here, just outside the doors. Molotov will land towards Carl. Leaf needs to be aware of this. The swing will come through, but no contact made. Fen2k also holding towards the doors. They're aware of the player coming from tunnels, and they progress their way on through, but Cheerful with a double. It's all on Chris 7, and Fen2k will take him down, and VP.Prodigy, even in the man disadvantage on that post plant, they do close it out.
That's why it's a difficult bomb site to clear, Fred. Such a tough one to retake, and it looked really good there initially for 1 pin. I feel like if Shine didn't find that kill towards mid, there's a real chance we could have seen the save from 1 pin. It is obviously that full loss bonus, so they would have had full loss bonus and 3 weapons staying alive, so I feel like they probably would have saved it if Shine didn't find that kill towards mid, and potentially sort of did punish them in the long run. The fact that the players did go for it and weren't successful, you do have to go for those sort of rounds.
Definitely when you've got the man advantage. It's a little bit unfortunate, though, in that situation. It seemed as though the way that VP.Prodigy were playing that post plant, it was such a kind of a great team play. The crossfires were perfect, and all we needed to see from Fen2k was just a jiggle towards tunnels every now and again. No steps were being heard. He knew that Chris 7 wasn't going to be aggressing quickly because of the previous altercation, was already chipped down to around 40 HP. So it's clear to see VP.Prodigy, they've got the ins and outs of Dust 2. They know how to play those post plants, and it really worked out in their favor. Another round VP.Prodigy are looking successful in. They should find 5 off the back of this. The main aim, though, would just be keeping these weapons alive and not giving any more frags to 1 pin.
Yeah, leave all that remains in this one, just as the 5-7 in armor.
Nice shot there
by Lomic. Yeah, I mean, not easy shot to make, and nice to see that. I mean, even Lomic with the AWP is impressed to see that he is able to pull that off. But 5-0 start for VP.Prodigy, looking very good in this. best of 3. Definitely a better start than they had against Into the Breach.
And something to mention though, One Pin, they're a side that you really can't take the pressure off of. You really give them an inch and they will take a mile. They're a dangerous looking squad. And realistically, once we saw Into the Breach and Iron Branch both get eliminated here, you know, for me, I feel like One Pin potentially could be maybe the favourites.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, we spoke about, obviously we knew Into the, Iron Branch sort of got knocked out a bit sooner than we did Into the Breach, but as soon as Into the Breach sort of got knocked out, I know we had a bit of a discussion in the sort of casters chat. We were sort of saying that this tournament is so wide open now. It's tough to know a real favourite, isn't it? Because VP.Prodigy, the last 2 seasons, they've obviously made it to the final and semi-final, but this season they looked very shaky, but clearly stepped up. Maybe they can do one better now. Maybe they can actually win the whole thing. But One Pin as well, they've been looking so strong. It's really up in the air.
And I think that's the brilliance of this kind of top division. I feel like all teams here, they clearly know their place. They really want to show what they're made of. And as you mentioned, VP.Prodigy, they've always been at touching distance away from taking the crown. And this potentially will be their best chance to do so. But they're still going to have the best One Pin here. But look how they're playing, Charlie. The T side of Dust 2, they are looking absolutely sublime. And Shine only able to have 1 kill there with the AWP.
Really awkward position for Shine to play, and he really needed a bit of backup from his team. Just playing around car with his players all around you, trying to sort of evade the bullets through a smoke. It's just a matter of time before enough connect. And Doc's just going to try to keep hold of this M4, but have a look at Fen2K. Able to take away everything, finds the kill, and VP.Prodigy Fred, they're looking on fire.
Yeah, they're looking at another level here. Look at the individual kills of some of the players. Result 7-3, Cheerful 10-1. This is a semi-final. He's got a 10 KD, Charlie. Clearly, One Pin a little bit stunned on their opponent's map pick, but we've still got plenty more CS to be played here. Obviously, we mentioned Inferno being that second map pick. I feel like it's nice to see when a team has confidence, you know, on Inferno, but realistically, Inferno's a map that every single team plays. It's the king of the third maps. You very rarely see it get banned in these series, and realistically, it could be somewhat of a risk. VP.Prodigy, if they find Dust, which they're really looking to do, we could be seeing a 2-0 for VP.Prodigy, but hopefully for One Pin's
VP.Prodigy
sake.
certainly aren't no slouch on Inferno, are they? Obviously beat Into the Breach on that in the second map after losing 16-2 on the first, so yeah, they're definitely strong on Inferno.
Was still a close affair between those two sides. I believe that game ended 16-13, but still, either way, you know, you're beating Into the Breach on Inferno. I feel like One Pin, no Into the Breach, but they are going to be showing their own abilities on Inferno as well. But let's not talk about Inferno, because Dust still could go One Pin's way.
I mean, the fact that we've only had 6 rounds, but it's just the fact that all 6 rounds have gone the way of VP.Prodigy, and the way that they've won them as well has been very impressive. I mean, Fred, to point out, there's only 12 kills on the whole side of One Pin. Cheerful's on 10. He's sort of matching the One Pin side individually right now, which is really impressive to see.
It's an average of 2 kills a round. We need a lot more. That's why VP.Prodigy have got such great economy currently, because if they're keeping, on average, 3 players alive in these rounds, they're certainly going to be making the money. That is a great triple from Result. The first 3 kills here for VP.Prodigy in this round, and we're surely going to see a double for Fen2K. Shine, though, wants to keep himself alive. Hasn't taken any damage as of yet. We do have 2 players who can get eliminated by a body shot of the Deagle by Fen2K and Result. Certainly not perfect health, but I think it will be Cheerful and Latic to potentially shut down Shine.
Obviously, Shine does just only have a Deagle, so Exis is going to be the ideal situation for him. There is an opportunity here in mid. That's a way to find the kill. Fen2K gets domed through the wall. Cheerful wants to go at things as well, but you don't want to test Shine. Don't want to get him warmed up.
Certainly not. Especially as well when we're going to be seeing Shine on the AWP. He's a player you really don't want to warm into the game, because single-handedly, we've seen in the past, Shine absolutely dominate these games. Similarly with Docs. The last game we saw from Docs, I believe it was a Vertigo match where he dropped 33 kills. It's currently 0-7, Charlie.
Yeah, Docs is someone who's been really sort of stand out in the SCL this season. He's looked really impressive, but right now, isn't really having much to say. Leaf in similar situation. He's only found 1 kill so far. Things certainly do need to change.
Yeah, even if this map does go the way of VP.Prodigy, if some of their players, if they can individually just step up, maybe we could see a 16-8, 16-9. It will allow these players to kind of warm into this series. And potentially that's all OnePin will need. But I'd love to see a 3-mapper here. Especially
it definitely feels like he's deserving of it, doesn't it?
Well,
just the sort of teams we have, how they've played this season.
Yeah, and also because the third map being Ancient, it's a map that both of these teams have found success on in the regular season and also in their playoffs run. And, you know, we always love a bit of Ancient, don't we?
Yeah, it's probably one of our favourite maps to cast, so definitely not going to say no to an Ancient, but OnePin, they've been a bit lucky this round. Had a couple of players just tagged with the ult, but still alive in kicking, so VP.Prodigy, got to finish your dinner there. You don't want to let these players keep themselves alive. Leaf mentioned he's having a tough game. A lot of work to do towards the A site. Finds nothing. Lomic 4 HP. Fen2k being tagged down by the molly as well. 4 on 4. A lot of chip damage has been taken just by that one Molotov. Latic walks into it as well. Bomb is finally gone down though.
Are we seeing a save?
Position, Fred.
I think we're going to be seeing a save, Charlie. Oh, this is so damaging. Obviously, they don't know the information on the health, but OnePin, I like the idea of a save here. Obviously, if the whole VP.Prodigy side were full HP, or at least we had more players kind of a little bit healthier, then you kind of understand it. You justify it. OnePin, they have been struggling, and the retakes so far haven't been perfect, but it's so sad to see.
It's strange because Dust 2 sort of 6 months, a year ago, this used to be really, really common. Maybe it's just because Dust 2, I don't know if it's been played slightly differently or maybe just different sort of mentalities with the teams, but a lot of the time, if you sort of just saw a B rush and they went 2 for 2, the A players just saved. They didn't even go for a look. And even though it is sort of, it's all even in terms of the man advantage, a team just never went for those really. Because obviously Dust 2 is, I mean, both sides are difficult sites to retake really. And so that just makes it so challenging. And the rotations between the sites are pretty long as well. So yeah, and a lot of sort of negatives in terms of retaking. The boost up. Ooh. Chris 7 does fall, but Shine does get the trade very quickly. Obviously, that save has allowed OnePin to get another investment out here. Docs. He seems very aware, but still can't manage to find the kill. Still looking for his first in this matchup. Already VP.Prodigy have won the half.
It's kind of ridiculous to think about. But yeah, as I was going to mention, on that retake, Shine was in a really tough position, was towards CT there, and I feel like retaking from CT, it's okay when you've got yourself a rifle, but I feel like with the AWP, there's so many awkward angles that you've got to clear, and do you really want to be going for it, via no-scope, or just struggling to find it? Obviously, if we saw Shine towards short, or maybe towards long, I feel like they could have gone for that, but I feel like the positioning as well certainly didn't help OnePin in the last. VP.Prodigy, they've got a man advantage in this one though. Got a lot of util to work with, and it seems as though they're going to be sending it towards the B bomb site. Shine should get smoked off here. Might be quite a troublesome site hold here for Azuwu. Let's drop the smoke, but Fen2k, Result as well, getting aggressive here. I love that. Fen2k progresses up short, Result pushing through B, and look at the confidence on this VP.Prodigy side. They haven't even taken the site yet, and we see Fen2k hunting for those exits, trying to take the players down on the save. And will he get the second? Yes, he will. He finds success. VP.Prodigy, they find 9. They're close to double digits here, and everything's going wrong for OnePin.
Yeah, it's really perfectly played CS right now from VP.Prodigy. This is sort of the basics done to an absolute gold level standard here from VP.Prodigy. Everything they are doing is just so well timed, so perfectly coordinated. It's just working like an absolute charm.
Ooh.
Nice tag there onto Azuwu, brought down to 12 HP within the first 5 seconds of the round.
It's going to be this long take though from VP.Prodigy, and OnePin, they're sending players there as well. They have just trickled their way back. Leaf Shine and Chris 7 opted against it, but look how much util they've used, Charlie. They've only got 1 piece each. We've got 6 pieces of util remaining on the OnePin side, and we've only had 25 seconds of play. Just goes to show how much OnePin are being pressured here. And even after using all that util, they don't even have the control.
Yeah, that's why we are seeing this short aggression here. They're losing long, so they take short. Few players, in fact, pushing out mid here. Chris 7, he's joining, just cleared out top mid. And now they're backing off. Got a decent amount of info.
We are seeing the bomb making its way back towards B, and that is where Azuu resides. Obviously, Azuu was the player, got tagged down very early on there. The Molotov towards short will cut off the rotations. Fen2k, I think he's going to send it again here. A little too deep. Oh, it does in fact miss its mark. We still have a player towards pit, and obviously Fen2k still towards long as well. I think they're going to be searching for a pick towards A before sending it out on the B bomb site. Azuu playing a lovely little off angle here. Have they spotted him on the jiggle? They seem so aware. Lomic, 100% sure of his location. Oh, what a shot from Lomic there. Lovely little one tap. And now Fen2k aggressors leave the last remaining on the bomb site. And look how VP.Prodigy are playing. It is absolutely ridiculous. One pin are getting outclassed here.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be the sort of A aggression taking first contact. They let B do it. You just see the players instantly realize it's the B site. Try to rotate, call in transition, and that's when Fen2k strikes. Finds himself a nice triple in double digits after just 10 rounds. VP.Prodigy, they have shown no signs of slowing down. Doc's still yet to find his first kill, but none of the team other than Shine are really showing us much.
And Charlie, I don't know if you've realised this, but VP.Prodigy, they're not even playing for the bomb site take. They're playing to kill the saving players. That's how confident they are with the regular site take. They're sending 3 players in and they're leaving 2 players to lurk to kill the savers. I like the playstyle. It's a bit risky, but VP.Prodigy, they're making things work.
I feel like they're probably just sick of one ping constantly having these full buys.
Yeah, stop wasting my time.
Yeah, just get on your half buy.
Get yourself
Look at the money of VP.Prodigy. There's no issues with them at all. Chris 7 gets brought down early. He's going to be swinging out, but Resel is going to punish him for that.
5 digits on all the players' bank on the VP.Prodigy side. They're going to be getting buys for the remaining portion of this half. Unless if we can see one pin really start to string things together. But it doesn't look too promising. Missed shot there from Latic. Lightning never strikes twice, though.
I'm hoping you said that because
he's got the lightning strike. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know if you're smart enough to actually do that, and I'm just saying it's just a coincidence. But either way, if that was on purpose, I'm very impressed.
Thank you. I try my best. Just for you, Charlie.
Does take down Docs. Scout is getting juggled over. A lot of scouts in play. Azuu almost caught out by the molly, but 9 HP, still alive. Then he's going to finish him off instead. And all 5 alive. Fred, almost everyone's on 16k. There could be a real possibility we actually see everybody on 16k.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
If VP.Prodigy win this, that will be absolutely unreal.
No. Am I going to say it? I'll say it.
No,
I'll take the brunt. I've taken it. It's happened.
I think we mentioned, I mean, you mentioned that the 16-0 in...
I ruined it, didn't
what matchup it was.
I think it might have been
Vertigo, I believe.
I'm guessing it was the Into the Breach VP.Prodigy one.
Yeah, I think it could have been. I mean, it wasn't far off. Maybe VP.Prodigy won a 16 over their own, but Chris 7, if you committed to that, you would have found yourself a great opening kill. Fen2k ball down to 37 points of health. Cheerful. Be very aware here. Oh, just narrowly gets out of dodge before Shine can punish.
And I still like how VP.Prodigy are playing. Yes, they've got the confidence. Yes, they've got the ability, but they're still playing quite cautiously. You know, we're a minute into the, or about 40 seconds into the round, and they're still not getting too aggressive. And I like that playstyle because, you know, they're respecting the one pin side. They understand, you know what, this one pin side, they're very strong. We've seen what they can do. Let's just make sure we close this one out.
And they're here for a reason, aren't they? You definitely don't want to sort of take your foot off the gas against one pin.
I feel like VP.Prodigy, they don't need to do anything fancy. I feel like they are just playing, you could say, classic Counter-Strike. I feel like they're not really doing anything too crazy, but they're just doing the kind of the basics right, and that's what you really need sometimes. You can throw in some fancy plays here and there, but sometimes they don't really work, whereas VP.Prodigy, they've definitely ironed out just the basic style.
30 seconds on the clock, though. This is going to be the final execute. Smoke down towards CT. There's a few players sort of here to lurk. This side take has to be clean. There's only one real defender here in Shine. Leaf pushed through the CT smoke. Hasn't found anything, but the lurks are starting to strike. Docs finds one.
Got 2 players towards long here, but look at the lurk from Fen2k. He's in the back line still. He's still been here. He's ready to punish. Latic posted up on the orb. Does find Chris 7. A very nice kill there. And now Fen2k strikes. And he's going to be running it back to short. I love this play from Fen2k. Latic finds another on the orb. And this is absolutely ridiculous. Even when one pin, they have to go for these retakes. They're no longer in a safe spot to save. And they're getting absolutely destroyed here. 12-0 the scoreline will go.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that VP.Prodigy, yes, they are playing very cautiously. I mean, did you see the risk they took on that execute, having 2 players sort of lurking? They had a 3-man side take, but the fact that one pin, clearly they've sort of been conditioned not to play too aggressively on the site, so VP.Prodigy clearly knew what they were doing, but it was so risky. All it took is one player's heroics could have shut down that whole round, but really impressive stuff from VP.Prodigy. The fact that they can constantly make these sort of rounds work. Like you said, 12 was on the board already. We've got 3 rounds left of this half. You sort of feel one need to win them all just to give them a slight lifeline in this one.
Yeah, look at the buy they've got in this. 2 Deagles, 2 5.7s, and the MP9 on Chris 7. Doc still hasn't found a frag yet, Charlie. And a start like this can really affect a player's mentality, especially as we mentioned, Doc's usually bringing the bright light for this one pin side.
Something drastically needs to change. Otherwise, one pin could fall on dust a lot sooner than I think any of us expected. You tell out towards 8. Not too much going behind it. I think, yeah, just a boost. Just have a little look for any info.
Nice find from Latte.
Does find Dogs. Yeah, this is a bit of a heavier mid lane. That player tucks close to the doors, but Shine could be tested now. Flash is coming out. Shine falls.
Fen2k just not making any mistakes on that peak. No need to. Oh, I love this from Cheerful. Just waiting around. Finds the kill onto a Zuru. Chris 7 and Leaf, all that remain. 2 versus 3 here.
Bomb. Bomb jump towards short here.
They got that information.
I do believe they do in fact Leaf. The round's in the palm of his hands. He finds Cheerful with his knife out. And look at this play towards tunnels. Chris 7.
He can take it all down. And he certainly will. Oh, things got hella dicey there, but doesn't even matter. Latic, not enough time. And one pin. They win their first round on time. I guess that's sometimes that's just how it needs to go.
Yeah, Chris 7 actually could have picked up the AK there, but it sort of seems like he wanted to hunt Latic. But obviously, it wouldn't have really mattered if Latic died.
Yeah, they've all got so much money. As you mentioned, one pin needing to find these final 3 rounds. They've done a great job at taking the first, even with the half investment. Nice shot from Latic, though. A hefty damage from Shine as he tags Latic for 98, but even that is not enough. Ooh. Docs, he finds his first kill.
Has a chance there. Yeah, with the retrieved orb, maybe that's what he needs. Just to get a bit of confidence back. You spoke about these confidence rounds in the past.
Sometimes
this could be his. He finds 3. Goes from 0 to hero, really, in this game.
They've still got to win the round, though. They do have a man advantage in this one. But Doc's still on the AWP. And sometimes when you are just really struggling with a rifle, the AWP can be your saving grace. I wonder whether we'll see a double AWP in play. One pin obviously will have to win this round, but potentially the double AWP could have been the saviour for one pin. Could be the solution to find their success, but surely a little too late.
The issue is their money is making it very challenging to get out of these double AWPs. Azuu towards lower tunnels does catch a time in and catches a kill.
Lomic is on the AWP now. Obviously it can be retrieved. Docs will be retrieving the AWP once again. Switch to the rifle there. The question is, can Docs hit this shot? He does miss. The bomb can go down. But obviously, as we mentioned, we see a lot of money on the VP.Prodigy side. I don't think they really need the extra funds. But it's going to be Lomic to try and clutch this one up. All 3 players towards CT. Lomic on the AWP. It's going to be tough. He needs to try and find a pick early. Or certainly will get overwhelmed. And Azuu going to be sending the flash in now. And as it comes through, he dodges it. Lomic finds one. Oh, searches for the second, but doesn't find success. He's going to get overwhelmed here. And surely can't do anything. Does get taken down by Docs. And they do win the round. The AWP can be saved as well. Lomic, if he hit that second shot that he went for, he would have had such a great chance in that round. The damage he's dealt.
Yeah, a lot of damage to the economy. Shouldn't really be an issue as it is the final round. Should be able to juggle over enough weapons. Now, there shouldn't hopefully be too many limitations for 1pin, but we mentioned they do sort of need to win all these final remaining rounds. They are on track for that. The Dog's got 4 kills in that round. Went from 0 kills to 4 in 1 round alone, so that could be the confidence that Dogs needs.
And especially because it's these do or die situations. Sometimes you can be struggling massively, but is that a hinge smoke? Oh, Latic, you cheeky boy. How has he found that smoke out? It's not even the one from the kind of back right corner aiming up at the awning. He's found another.
That is really nice, the fact that he can find that. I feel like that hinge smoke has really sort of just changed the way that Dust can be played.
And even with these kind of CS classics, there's still innovative ways for your team to kind of get the edge on your opponents. I don't remember which kind of pro player brought it into the limelight.
I want to say it was Big. Or maybe it was a VP.
Potentially.
Yeah, it might actually be VP.
I guess
I
no
believe
wonder.
it was one of the two of them.
Maybe VP got their intel from the Prodigy side, because it's clear to see Latic great at finding these cheeky smokes. Cheerful though, does take down Shine. Leaf finds Lomic as well. No gap for them to cross, or no smoke for them to cross. A large gap though, in fact. Latic gonna be searching for a pick here. Gets taken down by Azuru. That is the bomb. And now Cheerful in the 1 versus 3 does get taken down by Azuru. And 1pin, as you mentioned, they needed all 3 and they did find them, but they are still so far out of this one. We're going to need to see a crazy comeback for them to take Dust here.
Yeah, all those rounds were pretty close as well. To point out, on that streak that VP.Prodigy went on, they had 0 1v1s. Which just does show the sort of caliber of the rounds that they did win. They weren't that close. Only a couple of 2-man surviving as well. The majority of it was domination. So VP.Prodigy really went on a great streak.
Obviously, 1pin aren't out of this one, but the pistol round certainly going to define whether they have a chance at the comeback. Obviously, if they take the pistol, they could put themselves at half of their opponent's rounds based off whether VP.Prodigy opt for the force on the CT side. But they need to find success on this pistol. Without it, they definitely are going to struggle.
That's the scary thing though, isn't it? Them winning the pistol, a force buy, and winning the anti-eco, they're on half the rounds for their opponents.
Yeah, and if the same happens
That's
for
a scary thing.
If the same happens for VP.Prodigy, they're on match point.
Yeah, it sort of does feel like a bit of a lose-lose situation, but 1pin, they know what they need to do.
A lot of util on Cheerful. I like to see that. Leaf as well has invested in quite a lot. Doc's got smoke and the Molotov as well. Oh, they're just spamming through this wall. Fen2k might struggle here. They do have a molly for his position. They're finally going to use it now. Fen2k just peeks before the Molotov does get eliminated. 4 versus 5 now. 1pin with the man advantage, and they need to take it. But Lomic, an important kill. There's a gap in the smoke, and Latic from the A-bomb site will just be spamming his way on through. Flash will come through towards Goose. It does blind the 2 players, and Latic pushing through. Lomic as well, getting aggressive. How has he got the 2nd kill? It's all on Docs now, 1 versus 4. We mentioned Docs needed to step up in this game, and now he's got a very tough task, but Latic swinging his way on through, takes down Docs, and VP.Prodigy, they find 13, Charlie. This could be the beginning of the end.
It looked like a great start there from 1pin. They sort of boosted and just jumped to see if anyone was car. I don't know if they got the information or they just opted to spam, but either way, the blood gave up the sort of game that we saw Fen2k play, and just all the aggression, the util being thrown. Fen2k eventually fell, and it's a man advantage for 1pin. You felt like there's a chance. Instantly got ripped away.
Great find from Lomic there. Look at the kill split between the VP.Prodigy side. Their lowest kills is Latic on the AWP, and I say that he's just got 14. 5 players on the VP.Prodigy side, and only a 2 kill difference between their highest and lowest. It just goes to show how much of a team performance this is from VP.Prodigy.
That's really impressive to see. One Pin, they have opted for an eco here. It's clear to see why they want to get these guns out as quick as possible. Zulu might be able to grab a kill, but Cheerful with the MP9 does take them down. All 5 alive for VP.Prodigy. Going to be a bit of a bonus round, but the way they've been playing, something tells me that's not going to affect them at all.
Even with these 2 MP9s in the FAMAS, I feel like VP.Prodigy, they can certainly make things work. I feel like we're going to be seeing some aggression from them, potentially towards lower tunnels with those 2 SMGs. That's exactly what we see. Look at Cheerful. He's already in lower tunnels. It is going to be this long hit here. Fen2k going to be the one to try and hold this aggression. But look, they've already taken all of this control towards B. We could see Latic push through, in fact.
Yeah, we're going to see a big gamble here, and these weaker weapons might be able to get up close and personal, get close range. Cheerful boosted his teammate towards sight.
This is going to be very tough for One Pin. Obviously, they've got a lot of flashbangs to work with here. Taking the site is going to be no easy game. Oh, I love the nade there from Fen2k. So much damage dealt. Lome going to be sending the Molotov in now. Fen2k does fall, but look at the molly. Splitting the attack and the boost there. What a shot from Chris7. Takes down Resol.
He finds one of his own. Chris7, 47 points of health. Health certainly favours VP.Prodigy, but the FAMAS still in play. Doesn't seem to matter. The kills keep on going back and forth, but as the smoke clears, VP.Prodigy are the team with that advantage. Shine 1 versus 2. Such a crucial round to deny VP.Prodigy finding match point.
Oh, but that find onto Lomic. A perfect kill, an important one, but Latic doing so much damage. He's got the round in the palm of his hand. He's got match point at his fingertips, and he takes it. 15-3 now. VP.Prodigy, 1 round away from finding the first map here in the semi-finals.
And you said it perfectly. This is a semi-final, and One Pin are just about to go 1-0 down after a potentially 16-3 defeat. Pure annihilation, double AWP out for VP.Prodigy. They want to end it here and now. A nice tag for Cheerful, but only 39 points of health. They'll look at this. Look at the buy thread. 3 Galils, a UMP, a Scout. No, in fact, they do have 1 Molotov, but it's still so lackluster.
Straight away, we feel the force of the nade. Resol has been tagged, though, very early on. We might see the AWP get juggled across, but I feel like both of these AWPers have been so strong. No need to give it up, but great find there from Chris7. So aware of the blue boost. Lomic just sending the AWP back. We'll drop the M4. Doesn't want to give any weapons to One Pin. They've got a long road back into this one. But it could all be over here and now, Charlie.
Yeah, and that's the scary thought. At this point, when you're so far behind, the other team's on match point, 1 mistake is all it can take. Doesn't matter how long and sort of tirelessly you valiantly battle back. 1 round is all that VP.Prodigy need at this point.
Charlie, it's all going to be on the shoulders of Lomic. Look at the positioning here of VP.Prodigy. We've got 2 players towards B, 1 towards CT, looking towards middle now. Lomic's going to have a lot of work to do. No Molotov to force them back. Just a flashbang to hold the aggression. And Lomic, there's a lot of smokes for him to look upon. Oh, the flash there from One Pin is good. They can get the bomb down now. Oh, Doc's walking into his own Molotov there. We might see a save here from VP.Prodigy, taking a page out of the One Pin side book. Definitely the right play to make. You've got double AWP in play. You've got the 2 M4s. Oh, nice shot from Lomic, though. And the money for One Pin's certainly not perfect, so they can't just be gifting equipment away.
Yeah, VP.Prodigy still slightly too far out of this round. Potentially just exit frags is going to be the name of the game. Try to keep hold of their weapons as well. Obviously, they can save the double AWP here. Didn't really have much impact at all.
That early death from Latic there really made things tough. Obviously, Latic, the main AWP here for this One Pin side. And oh, that's another weapon that they've lost. Obviously, it was the Scout for Shine, but still, certainly not perfect. Weapons can be dropped. We could see an AK be gifted from Leaf, but really not great. He does invest in an AK.
Do actually see Doc's upgrade his Galil to an AK. I think they're at the stage of the game where they realise, we can't really have any limitations. We just sort of need to be on a good buy every single round.
Look at the buy, Charlie. We've got 2 Galils and a Scout opposed to the 3 M4s and the double AWP. Really not a good buy here for 1pin. And they could be the ones saying goodbye to Dust, as this could potentially be the final round. Any mistakes made from 1pin could cost them this first map. Flash towards middle. We do have Lomic towards CT. Once again, this might be another A hit here from 1pin. They've got a lot of util to work with, but it's still going to be fairly tough. I like this double long hold. Latic should be the one taking this opening contact, and then we'll fall back. But now the util's coming towards short. Lomic going to have to back away. Needs to get himself towards CT so he can have that faster rotation. But Latic, he's the one rotating in now, staring at the edge of the smoker, waiting for one of the T's to progress their way on through. And once again, it is going to be this A finish here for the 1pin side. Azu on a lurk. I wonder what he's going to be able to do there. They send the B-split util, in fact. I like this, but the util they're going to send out towards A. The fake isn't good enough. We still got Latic on the AWP, but he finds the first. Chris 7 falls. Opening pick here for VP.Prodigy, and they're going to struggle to get towards the bomb site. Latic's posted up on the angle. Doesn't even find the tag. That is so damaging. Oh, he gets the tag onto Docs. That is immense.
He almost gets the headshot there. That is unbelievable. But man, advantage. Docs being solo HP. This could be it. This could be the final opportunity. Leaf with a double important, but does fall shine in another clutch. Required to try to win this.
Oh, it doesn't even matter. Latic. The final AWP shot there. Latic finding so much impact in that last round from Long. And VP.Prodigy, they take their map pick 16-4. The first map here in the semi-finals goes the way of VP.Prodigy. They absolutely dominated. That is a ridiculous way for them to start things off.
I don't think you can word things any better, really. VP.Prodigy from start to finish looked so strong. We saw, kind of glimpses of a bit of life from 1pin, I suppose, at the end of the first half, but it was nothing that they continued. Really unfortunate scenes, and that's how 1pin fell. But you can only sort of commend VP.Prodigy from that unbelievable performance. It looked so great throughout the whole entire game. If they can bring that to Inferno, there's certainly no reason why they can't win this one out 2-0. But Fred, VP.Prodigy are one step away from knocking 1pin out. They're one step away from advancing to the finals.
And obviously we mentioned we needed to see Dust come a little closer to allow the 1pin side to warm into this series. But a 16-4, only 20 rounds of play, and only 4 of them attained by the 1pin side. This could be too far gone, and this is what we mentioned. This is the risk of picking Inferno. Inferno, a map played, known by all, and potentially 1pin might meet the consequences of that. But we will just jump to a short break before we go to the second map, which is 1pin's pick, Inferno. Welcome back, guys. Hope we've had time to grab a drink in the break because this second map has got all the fire to it. Obviously, Inferno is one pin map pick, and I can't wait to see it being played out. Obviously, as we mentioned, Inferno kind of the king of the third map, so you've got to expect that VP.Prodigy, they're going to be well versed on it, but one pin, they've clearly picked Inferno for a reason, so I can't wait to see this one play out. But what are your thoughts before we jump into this one, Charlie?
I mean, we really need to see that reason from one pin pretty early on in this map, because obviously we saw how that snowball effect really affected VP.Prodigy in this one. It sort of feels like they just had a good start and they just continued it on and on and on, and one pin just didn't really have a response. That can't be something we see here. One pin have to have been able to mentally reset from that dust game and show us something more here, because otherwise, Fred, it could be too little too late. One pin are probably a decent amount of people's favourites to take the tournament since Into the Breach and Iron Branch got knocked out. And surely we can't just have loads and loads of upsets constantly.
Yeah, I hope this does go that third map, because that's when everything will be to play for. But obviously, being one pin's map pick, we do see VP.Prodigy starting on that CT side. So they are going to have a slight bit of a benefit. Obviously, I still believe Inferno's a T-sided map, or at least statistically, that's what the kind of the stats say. But you've got to imagine VP.Prodigy, they're going to prefer the CT side. Bit of comfort. Chris7 going to be getting aggressive towards apartments. Needs to find the pick. Takes down Fen2k. Leaf finds Cheerful as well. Great opening altercations here for one pin. And the final three players all coming from Banana. Site has been taken securely from one pin. And the bomb can go down now.
A really good start here from one pin, finding these first two kills. All VP.Prodigy players are coming from mid. I don't believe there are any kits down. Fen2k might have had one, but other than that, it's just going to be these raw bullets. But Latic finds a nice double.
Zulu on the bomb site, dodging the first flash and the second, and he just swings his way on out. Nice double from Azulu. Can he find the third? That is the question, but it is Chris7 to take him down. And one pin, they take the pistol, and a necessary one at that. Obviously, you mentioned we need to see one pin starting off with that flying start. And the pistol round going their way, certainly what they need.
We see this force buy here from VP.Prodigy. Nothing invested yet. They do love a late force buy. Ooh, this is a
very late force buy.
Yeah.
They're still in spawn. I've had 6 seconds of play. If we see a fast pop from one pin, things are going to be very tough.
And
15 seconds.
Finally, the buy's out. Oh. Yeah, VP.Prodigy, every now and again, I feel like they're always a team I say it looks like they're going for an eco and they always buy really late. It's never normally that late, but luckily hasn't made too many issues. One pin haven't taken much control that early on. If it was a fast banana hit, yeah, they could have had that all for free. 3 smokes. VP.Prodigy are just playing a bit more passive, though.
Docs with the UMP, resides towards Boiler, is in that close quarters proximity, but no one challenging him as of yet. We do see a player already boosted up towards CT, that is Lomic, and similarly Result. Has he elevated himself towards New Box? He's done the fountain jump? Yes, he has. I love that from Result.
Yeah, it's really cheeky. Just sort of having 2 players boosted up towards the B site. It looks like one pin are going to be heading towards A. Anyway, though.
It's a lovely little boosted crossfire, but sadly we're not going to see it work out. Latic on the bomb site, able to find the first. Searching for the second, but the spam on the 5-7 doesn't work out how he intended. 3 versus 2, though. VP.Prodigy with a man advantage. And it's all about delaying here. Fen2k just needs to keep himself alive as long as possible towards Pit, but as the smoke fades, does get found by Shine. I guess we're going to see how much impact this late force buy does have. A player towards Graveyard. It is Leaf. The bomb's just been tapped here. They need to stick it. Oh, it's been tapped once again, but Shine going for the gunfight over the bomb plant, and it does work out for one pin. But it did come down very much down to the wire. We could see another force here from VP.Prodigy, because obviously without the bomb plant, some players on the one pin side, especially Shine, could have dropped over a better weapon there with that extra money. But is it 400 for planting the bomb?
Yeah, I do believe you get 400 for planting the bomb, but only the bomb planter gets it if you win the round. Obviously, if you lose the round, everybody gets the 800. So no actual benefit other than the extra money if you are going to win the round. VP.Prodigy, 5-man A-hold. One pin seemingly heading towards B. Flash out towards mid. No one's actually contesting it. Chris 7 towards second mid though. Having a lot of bodies coming his way. Finds 2.
It's a good situation there. And I love this play here. Obviously Shine fairly low. And as the flash comes through, surely he's going to be blinded here. Shine gets found. A really unfortunate way for him to fall. The AK could potentially be retrieved. Leaf has been tagged down for 35. We do have a nade here from Azuwu. If that gets sent towards logs, that could be absolutely perfect. Not opting to challenge whatsoever. And definitely the right play for one pin. Realistically, they need to make sure their economy is strong in this one. They can't have any limitations. Because VP.Prodigy, they're a side that look great on Dust. I feel like they certainly can bring that firepower to Inferno. So one pin, they're going to need to get as many rounds on the board in a row. And money troubles could be a cost of that later on.
Could see a few exit frags come out here. Zufu finds one. Cheerful almost doubles down, but can't take down the second player.
We do see the AWP straight away out for Latic. Definitely going to be a difference maker here on the CT side. Shine still operating with this UMP. Potentially we're going to be seeing a fast play from Shine here. Early banana aggression from Dox. The triple nades doing a lot of damage to Lomic. And straight away we see Result falling. Dox thought there was a slight gap in the Molotov, but did get tagged down and just falls back. But a great opening pick here for one pin, giving them a real chance to find this fourth.
Yeah, Fen2K has rotated him. Does have a Molotov to play with. Result just the flashbang, so there's not actually too much due to sort of halt this sort of E-push if one pin do opt to go to it.
Potentially we should see Latic drop some util over, but it might not be the best of ideas. I think we're going to be seeing a flash coming in, but Result aggressing. Oh, it could be perfect. He finds one, searching for a second, finds success. That is great from Result there. Brings it back to a level playing field, and now it's Fen2K to defend. We've still got Latic here, posted up towards long. Spots the player, Boiler, takes down Chris 7. And within a matter of seconds, we see VP.Prodigy. They're the ones with the man advantage now. Everything is going wrong here for one pin.
Latic rotating in his backup as well. Just firing a few pot shots over. Does have a flashbang in case he wants to flash his teammate in.
Nice nade there onto Dox. Drops him down so low HP here. Molotov will force this Ruins player back. We've got one trickling his way up. Banana. Fen2K has made his position known, getting tagged there. Shine peeking out from Dark. Does tag Fen2K even further, but a great shot from Latic all on Shine. He gets a double. Oh, and Shine's done a lot of work in this round and can clutch it up. He gets the dink, finds the frag, and what a triple there from Shine.
4 kills in the round overall, but those 3 in that 1 versus 3 clutch, sublime. He was given the 1v1s, but had to play it to perfection still.
And instantly upgrades that M4 to an AWP as well. VP.Prodigy, they did so much work to bring that into their advantage. Saw the double from Result. Latic finding the kill as well. Shine, double scoped here. Might find it troublesome taking down Result, but Azuwu by his side, and Azuwu finds 2 with the UMP. Goes for the long-range altercation, though, against the Scout, but look at that. Instantly, the round's over. Felt like it only started mere seconds ago.
5-0 start from one pin. I said that they needed a strong start early on. They've certainly got that.
Yeah, we're seeing the dominance that VP.Prodigy showed on their map pick on the T side. Just with this one for one pin. They've had a great early start here. If they can keep this one going, we could just really see a flip result here. Nice Molotov there. Will force the Sandbags player out. He does just drop the smoke, in fact. Obviously awaiting for some more aggression, but it didn't come through. Resol getting very aggressive here towards Banana. Oh, the spam is perfect. Dox dropped down to 9 HP. We could see Shine switch over the AWP there.
Let's give his low HP player that AWP. Still alive and kicking in this one, so Docs can certainly have impact with this one. Look how passive 1pin are playing. 4 players grouped towards the T round. Going to be a late banana retake.
Another smoke towards Boiler there. The second smoke from VP.Prodigy. Leaving middle open. I like the idea behind it. It's an interesting though. You usually see the CTs deploy their smokes always towards middle. But I like it. Going to be seeing this be attack though. We do have Resol elevated on top of first oranges. If he gets cleared though, could get taken down because there's surely going to be a lot of flashes sent over. Smoke towards CT and Leaf going to be mollying new box. But there's so much util for 1pin to work with now. The flashes will come through. Resol able to find one. Will just back away. We'll send the flash. Oh, but the Molotov is good from Shine. And Leaf, what a shot onto Latic. 3 versus 3 now. But I love that from Lome. Spams through the smoke, but he gets taken down there. It seemed near perfect. Cheerful finding that kill. It might allow them to go for this one. They are just opting against it, especially because of the slow rotation. But 1pin, they find 6 now.
It's feeling a bit like Dust once again, really, but this time the script has been flipped. 1pin looking really strong here, something that they just weren't showing at all on Dust 2. VP.Prodigy, they certainly had their opportunities, you can't blame them for that, but just sort of falling at the last hurdle, making these slight mistakes that are costing them.
It's clear to see, though, you know, we mentioned in the previous the fact that VP.Prodigy hadn't played Dust yet in their regular season or playoffs. It's clear to see that they've been saving it, bringing it out when necessary. And look how dominant this Inferno game's going. Potentially, we could see a reverse sweep here from 1pin. If they keep their winning ways here on Inferno, we mentioned that Ancient's a real flip of the coin. The fact that both of these teams have looked great on it so far. It would be a devastating way for VP.Prodigy to fall, but I feel like we still got a lot of time for VP.Prodigy to work with on Inferno. They need to start finding some rounds on the board here and now.
Util's being thrown up. Or thrown down, potentially. There's not much util on the VP.Prodigy side. Only 4 smokes. Might just try to sort of outlast 1pin here. Sort of hold on to their smokes for as long as they can and sort of force them to grey screen through one of them.
Yeah, potentially. I like the idea behind it. Sometimes you do just need to go for those kind of gimmick strats. Keep your smokes as long as possible. Now the execute will be coming through. Smokes will land. We've still got a fair bit of util for 1pin to work with as well. And we see the double Molotovs coming through. Fen2k, he's elevated on top, so the mollies aren't landing. Oh, and he does find one. It's taken down, though, and instantly the B defense has been eliminated. Chris 7, fairly low HP, but that's both the M4s getting taken down here. Latic can retrieve one. The lack of armor on Latic might make the M4 quite tough to wield. Obviously, this just being a half bite from VP.Prodigy. They can search for these exits. What a shot from Lomic. And that kill might spur them on to go for this round, or at least hold them at bay. There's only 2 exits to this bomb site, Banana and CT, and we've got players on the VP.Prodigy side towards both. They know there's 2 players towards Banana, so they are going to be saving towards CT. Latic will be able to find one. So, fairly decent round here from VP.Prodigy.
It sort of felt like they could have gave it a bit more of a go, though, didn't it? Chris 7, very low HP. They sort of had the weaponry, they had the armor behind it. It felt like we could have seen VP.Prodigy give it a bit of a crack, but you understand they wanted to play a bit safer. Well, we see the double AWP here. Maybe that could be the solution. Cheerful just opted for the M4.
I feel like the double AWP could be great for them, but we're going to need to see some aggressive peaks from these AWPers. Because time and time again, we see 1pin, they're going for these late executes, and it's really working out in their favor because they've just got so much utility towards the late stages of these rounds, and it's making it quite tough for these AWPers. Latic, a real risky position, potentially a real one and done, but he finds the frag. Do have another player towards Boiler. It is going to be this B hit here. The jiggle from Result could cost him his life. He gets taken down, and that's going to be the go call here for B. Massive gap in the smoke, but Lomic trying to utilize it. Can get himself away, sends the flash, and he goes in for more, but Azuru takes him down. 3 versus 3 now.
All up in the air. Re-smoke towards CT. Bomb's making its way into the bomb site now. Only one flashbang on the side of one pin to sort of hold off this bomb site. Nice chunk of damage. Shining Chris 7. Hold down slightly lower.
All players, though, retaking from CT. They will smoke off Banana. So that is a bit of information for one pin to work with. Nice find from Shine, though, and Chris 7 in a nice position as well. It's all going to be on Latic on the AWP. He does find one, though, brings it to the 1v1. Searching for this final pick, but it's not been given to him, and he's just going to save. And one pin, they take the half now. Azuri doesn't even need to peek. Obviously, the money's not perfect for one pin, but Azuru thinks if I'm going down, it's going to be the bomb taking me down. I'm not giving you another kill.
I wanted to secure that win, but 8-0. A very similar story to Dust, really. First 8 rounds all being won by one team, and it's one pin that's taken this. And how many times do you see this, really?
It's a real rarity, especially on a map like Inferno. I feel like, let's say we saw it as a map like Nuke, maybe Ancient as this second pick. Then you'd kind of expect, okay, we're used to seeing one team absolutely dominate. But this is the king of the third maps. This is the map that everyone knows. No one's really getting Inferno out.
If you think about it, Dust is even in a similar spot.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a map that everybody sort of knows as well. There's sort of not the same level of strategy as certain other maps. It is sort of more basic CS that you sort of just need to play well. And we saw basic CS play perfectly from VP.Prodigy on Dust. But right now, one pin are doing a very similar thing. They're tending to lean a lot towards B. They're finding the individual picks and just bursting off of that. It's really great CS. I mean, it is a bit scary right now that one pin are looking so strong. There is going to be a slight tech pause. It shouldn't be too long. Just the coach has timed out on the side of one pin, but should be back very shortly.
Yeah, we'll get Wilksy back in the server. He can coach
your coach involved.
Yeah. Clearly the coach having a lot of impact. Clearly in the break, had some words with the team. Especially because they are potentially the favourites to take this one. But yeah, I feel like one pin, they're doing the exact same VP.Prodigy were doing. They're not doing anything crazy. They're not throwing in any kind of really tough strats and tough stuff that needs to kind of work with timings to perfection. They're just playing pretty basic here on Inferno as well. As you mentioned, slowly take Banana, set up for the exec, bombard your opponents with util and win the round. It's really been a rinse and repeat here. What I think we need to see from VP.Prodigy, potentially an AWP peek down Banana, or at least control taken from Banana, because one pin, they are loving to end towards the B bomb site, and a great way to stop that is you just take all the control. Easier said, though.
It certainly is. I mean, the fact that obviously you mentioned if it's statistically T-sided. It was last time all those stats came out. I'm not sure how much things have changed again with the sort of CT meta being a bit more of the thing with the A1Ss being so strong. So it will be interesting. I do feel like the map is a bit more 50-50 and a bit more team dependent. You've got to think if VP.Prodigy have chosen to pick the CT side, this is the side they believe is the stronger one for them.
I still feel like when the stats did get released, I feel like it was only a 51% T kind of dominance. So I feel like it is still always been fairly even. But we really need to see some players from the VP.Prodigy side step up. And I feel like two individuals that I'm going to name, Fen2k and Lomic. I feel like they were two players that absolutely dominated on Dust 2 and potentially gone a little quiet here on Inferno.
I mean, Fen2k had so many really, really crucial rounds.
Yeah, especially on the
he's
T
bottom
side.
of the server. Yeah, it's not ideal.
Obviously, I say especially on the T side. Most of their rounds were on that T side.
I didn't have many CT to play with. But
Yeah, only
you got to
5.
think in this one, there's potentially they're not gonna have many T rounds to play. At least if things continue how they are right now,
Yeah, obviously
it could be tested.
He's in a tough spot. Does find the first. We've got a second player towards apartments. They might be able to get a double kill here. Azulu so deep in library. Already so much control here. Taken by 1pin. But yeah, obviously, just what we were saying about VP.Prodigy on Dust 2, the exact same for 1pin. Obviously, they've had a wonderful start here, but they need to keep this one going. Because realistically, let's say they find their 9th here. If we see VP.Prodigy find the final 6, it's not even that bad of a half. You know, we've seen far worse. So we really need to see 1pin keeping this pressure up, keeping their opponents at bay. Because remember, Charlie, they're do or die right now. They're the ones without a map. Oh, and I like this nade. It might allow the player to swing from short. Shine, waiting. Oh, timing it perfectly. A lovely double there from Shine. Leaf takes down Wrestle, and Dox will eliminate Lomic. Hardly any money for VP.Prodigy to work with. Obviously, they've got that max locks bonus, so we could see a player like Latic bring out the hero warp. Potentially, that's what he's questioning. Yep, exactly. Brings it out. We see a full buy-in play for VP.Prodigy. They're at the state now that they can't keep half buy and they can't leave anything to chance. They need to start getting some rounds now.
I mean, it looked good in that one from VP.Prodigy. Latic finds the first kill, but just 2 players trapped in apartments. Really heavily isolated. They just got no impact after that. And Azuru catching off the lurks made things so difficult.
Very tough here. Obviously, still some slight limitations for VP.Prodigy as we see Reso on a FAMAS and MP9 on Cheerful. Not the greatest of utility. No kit in play either, Charlie. And 1pin feel like they've got the bomb down in nearly every single round.
I mean, 1pin's money, considering they are 9-0 up, is not in a great position. So there's certainly just a chance VP.Prodigy can come back into it just from winning 1-2 rounds.
I feel like that's because a lot of these VP.Prodigy rounds, they've not been that far out of it. You know, we've seen a couple clutches. Remember that 1v3 from Shine? We've seen a lot of these rounds coming fairly close. I feel like the difference is on Dust 2, VP.Prodigy, all their players were above that 10k mark at this similar kind of stage after about 10 rounds of play. Just goes to show that VP.Prodigy, they're not that far out of this one. They've just struggled to secure the rounds, and this one might be a struggle as well. Cheerful not in the greatest spots as he'll be fighting at range with an MP9. We have got a player towards apartments. Latic isolated on the bomb site here. Will find the first and important kill. Searching for the Apps player. Latic, he's done so much with this orb in this round, and Fen 2K from the back lines gets a double, and we could be seeing all 5 players for VP.Prodigy surviving here. Just on Shine now, AWP in hand, 10 seconds remaining, he does find the first, just going to try and get himself out of there, keep the AWP alive in the next, but if he gets taken down after time, that would be very costly.
He's in apartments, no one's massively hunting him, so he's going to be able to keep hold of this AWP.
But look, Charlie, we've got 3 players who can't buy for 1pin. Chris 7 at Zuru, Leaf, they don't really have the funding, and Shine can't even drop over a Galil. This one round, look what it's done to the economy. And as I mentioned,
they could just buy off the eco. They've fully invested, in fact. They don't want to allow VP.Prodigy to get more than 1. You've got your 1 round, now time to silence you again.
And this is exactly as I said. 1pin, yeah, you can find 9, but if VP.Prodigy can find 6, they're not going to be too unhappy with it, especially due to the slow start. But a lovely frag there from Azuru. The flash is good, but he's just tucked himself behind the half wall, kept himself in safe hands for now.
VP.Prodigy have to do whatever they can to string these rounds together. Like you mentioned, 6 rounds would be pretty brilliant half, in fact, all things considered. But man, disadvantage in this one. 1pin found the opening thanks to a Zulu.
I love that front sight smoke. Definitely one to learn. 5 players though, all towards brackets, and it's Cheerful and Latic to keep them at bay. Latic in a great position though, does find one, instantly been chipped down to 10 HP. They might be backing away now. In fact, they're going towards short. Latic still on the bomb site, and we've got Cheerful towards pit. Chris 7 might be able to take down Latic though. He's gonna get overwhelmed here. Trapped in the back corner with the AWP, and Cheerful dies to the Molotov there. Potentially thought he was safe alongside his smoke. They mollied right in that back corner. It's just going to have to be a save. And as you mentioned, Charlie, 1pin, they have silenced VP.Prodigy.
Yeah, not the 10 rounds in 10 that we saw from VP.Prodigy on Dust 2, but 10 out of 11 rounds gone the way of 1pin. Very impressive stuff from them. VP.Prodigy, their money's going to be in a bit of disarray once again. Luckily for them, they do still have a reasonably decent amount of loss bonus. It is 2.9k.
I don't really know what they're going to opt to do here, though. The buy certainly isn't going to be strong. They could just half buy around these save weapons, but 1pin, they could find 11 now. And as we mentioned, it seems as though both of these sides, they have looked so strong on their map picks, and it's clear to see why they've selected these ones. But as I mentioned, Ancient, a map that both teams favor, a map that both teams have crushed their opponents on in the past. I can't wait to see it play out. Obviously, VP.Prodigy, they are still in this game, but as these rounds keep going the way of 1pin, I feel like Ancient is getting closer and closer, and certainly shall be on the cards. Great find from Ven2k though. Leaf with the trade, and Azuru finds one. Chris7 takes down Cheerful. Oh, and he finds another. Instantly, Lomic. We've had 25 seconds of play, and Lomic's 4 teammates, they've all fallen.
I mean, luckily for VP.Prodigy, this wasn't the full investment. This was that partial buy that you were saying around these saved weapons. It was a great find onto Shine, but nothing could be done from them. Azuru doesn't quite get out. Flashbang slightly too late. Lomic is spotted towards this B car position.
Dogs will find that final frag.
They don't actually save Shine's AWP. So if Shine does actually go for an AWP this round, that is going to be a bit of an issue in terms of how it's keeping their finances. AWPs for an AK. Okay, so no real problem then.
I feel like they're going to be going for something fast here. VP.Prodigy, they've now got the full buy, they've got the AWP in play, and obviously 1pin, as we mentioned, they've been playing kind of basic, just kind of classic style here on Inferno. But now they could be hit with a fast play, and I feel like that could overwhelm the VP.Prodigy defense. Cheerful, though, going to find this kill onto Chris7. The tick of the molly indicating his position, and an easy frag there from the Apps defender. It is seemingly going to be this B hit, but we've got a triple stack on B from VP.Prodigy. Latic posted up on the angle. And then we also have Lomic and Resol waiting for the contact.
This could be a perfect hold. Util coming over, flash is good, but Resol playing close, gets one before getting dropped.
And the player towards Ruins finding nothing. Great find from Shine, takes down Lomic. And even with Latic taking that attention away from his teammates, it doesn't even matter. Obviously, still a 3v3, and Ven2k finds Docs with a nade. So much damage onto Azuru as well. 2 versus 3 now for 1pin. Not the best of starts for them. And they're going to need to have a nice close in this round, but it doesn't matter. Latic with a lovely double closes out the round, and VP.Prodigy, they find their second. 1pin obviously started off that round with losing a player in Apps. They forced the fight towards Banana. And it just didn't work out too well for them.
Can still get a buy in this one. Obviously, just 2 rounds left of this half. So if VP.Prodigy can win this, the money on 1pin will be in an awkward situation. So there's a good chance that VP.Prodigy can find 4 if they are successful in this one. Obviously, 13 still on the cards for 1pin though.
It's something they're definitely going to be searching for. But the individuals from VP.Prodigy really aren't stepping up. Latic, the only player to really talk about. He's the top of the whole server, and they're 11-2 down, Charlie. Is really the type of game that can affect a team's mentality. We've spoken about the mental fortitude of this VP.Prodigy side, and regardless of their young age, a very wise roster.
Time to sort of dig their heels in and try to just battle back once again. Last 2 rounds of this half will be so important for them.
Obviously, the economy for 1pin isn't perfect, so VP.Prodigy, if they find this round, they should be against a fairly weak buy. Definitely going to be some limitations, so could see VP.Prodigy finding 4, but similar kind of story for VP.Prodigy. Their money's not great either, but with that additional loss bonus, I feel like losing this round, they will get a strong buyout in the next regardless. As time ticks away, we see one pin, they've gone back to their old classic ways, and so many times they've opted for this B exec when the time is trickling away. And look what it's done. They've conditioned VP.Prodigy. They know when this late util comes in, it's going to be a B hit. But in reality, it's just a fake. Latic going to be running towards long, and it could be perfect. Finds the kill onto a Zulu. Going to get himself into library, but now they are all aware it is this A play. Chris 7 needs to find Latic here. The spray is good. Does find him. A player in mini pit. A lot of work for Cheerful to do. Does find one, but the trade comes through. Ven 2K, an important kill. It's all on Shine. We've seen him on the clutches in the past, but he's got no time. That's it done. The round is over. Unless if they throw it away, but it doesn't matter. VP.Prodigy, they closed it out on the kills. A very interesting play there. Potentially he thought he had a couple more seconds to work with.
Yeah, it kind of looked like he was gambling that both players were just going to swing on the plant. Definitely a huge gamble to make, though. And this is the buy they've got in the last round. Mac 10, 2 Galils, a scout, and a rifle.
That's what I mentioned. Obviously, one pin, they still had an absolutely amazing half hit. Lovely find from Latic. That's the type of aggression we've needed to see from this AWPer. Cheerful, gonna drop the smoke, but the timing might not be perfect. He spots the player, sees him cross as well. Doubt they're gonna be aware of this double apps aggression, but this nade can do a lot of damage. Look at that, straight away, Docs. 41 damage there, or 51 damage in fact from that nade. And the secondary one only doing 6.
Man advantage once again for VP.Prodigy. This could be the start of their comeback. Flash over mid. Not good enough. N2K is covering his teammates.
Result swings his way on out. Oh, the player's lined up, but he wasn't quick enough on the frag. Cheerful, once again, the lone defender here. Needs to do a lot of work. Does find one, but it potentially isn't enough. 2 versus 2 now. We might see Latic aggressing. We've seen him in the past get very aggressive with this AWP. Seeing a nade here. Just send it towards Coldzera. Molotov on the bomb as well. We've got a player on Vesper. He has been spotted. Does get found there. A little bit of a reverse one way there as Zuzu seemingly doesn't spot Lomic. It's all on Shine now. 1 versus 2. Does find the first. Position been made known, but he gets the second. And 1 pin. They find 12. A great half from them. They're going to be ecstatic with that result. And we have seen the script been flipped, Charlie. This was the exact scoreline that VP.Prodigy posted on the T side of Dust 2. And now we've seen one pin do it here on Inferno.
Yeah, Shine being a real clutch god in this series. The one that really comes to mind, Fred, was the one on B side, the 1 versus 3 that he had, the one that looked destined to be VP.Prodigy's, but the spacing wasn't perfect. The trading was near non-existent, and that sort of started the snowball effect, it feels like.
Very, very tough kind of situation here for VP.Prodigy. Even after their dominance on Dust 2, it's clear to see that it wasn't just a battle. This series is a war between these two. And seemingly 1 pin. They're going to take Inferno, and then we go to the final battleground. Then we go to Ancient. And 3 rounds, realistically, not enough. 1 pin, they take the pistol, yeah.
It's going to be the same situation to Dust, isn't it? Yeah. Sort of, if 1 pin can't find this pistol, similar to what VP.Prodigy did this game, surely all but done.
Dogs does have the flashbang. Potentially going to be sending in a Coffin's flash, but we'll just fall back towards CT for now. It is going to be this banana aggression here from VP.Prodigy. They lean towards B very late in this one.
There's a couple of sets of Julies.
Yeah, we do see Doc's just jiggling. I feel like he's going to take this opening contact, and then when he gets that intel, wait, send the flash, and then Leaf can come alive here with the Julies. A double nade in play. Ooh, this could be nice. CT smoke will land. Flashbang going to come through as well. An interesting lineup there for the flash. Oh, it does come through. And now the CT flashbang comes through. And this is where the Julies come alive. Leaf does find one. Dinks the second as well. Has been dropped fairly low and will get eliminated. 4 versus 4 here. They send the nade towards Dark. We do have another one on Lomic. Oh, and he's heard the shots towards Ruins. Might send the nade now. The smoke does fade, but Docs will just back away.
So many VP.Prodigy players towards this Ruins position. This could really be a bloodbath. They're all so heavily grouped together. Oh, it could be a 4v4 all grouped up.
And now they're just going to be swinging their way on through. But look at this, the CT dominance. Shine finds a double and Docs takes one down as well. And that's the round done. They've got enough time for the defuse and 1 pin. They find 13. They take the pistol. And things are going from bad to worse here for VP.Prodigy. A very awful CT side. And now they're staring down the barrel of a 10-round deficit.
Yeah, it looked like a bloodbath towards Ruins, but who was going to come out on top was still up in the air. But the CTs, so well played, went 3 for 1 in that engagement. 13-3, Fred. 10 rounds ahead. Surely this comeback's just a pipe dream now for VP.Prodigy.
And I like how 1pin played that. They knew one of the teams was going to swing, and they decided, you know what, we're standing still. We'll be the statues. You can swing into us, and definitely got eliminated there. We do see the force from VP.Prodigy. This can allow 1pin to find 15, but obviously VP.Prodigy, they want the comeback. And they want to start things now. They don't want to allow 1pin to find 14. Because potentially that is when it is too far gone. It won't give them enough opportunities for failure.
Not at all. Only one player here towards this B site for 1pin. So could be a bit of a risk. Just Leaf with a nade and a flashbang. Needs some support from Docs. He does have the smoke.
Instantly gets dinked down massively. Result does find the kill. And Docs very low as well. 1 flashbang remaining on this VP.Prodigy side, but the util's limited as well for 1pin, and that kill could confirm it. It's the 3 rifles that survive, so you know what? Let's just save him, keep him in the next, and we can try and make things work.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a risk there from 1pin, just leaving Leaf solo towards B. The fact that he didn't have a smoke, potentially Doc should have dropped off his smoke before rotating, but yeah, bit of an issue, but still, like you said, rifles are going to be saved into the next, so we can still see a strong buy from 1pin.
And obviously the weaponry that VP.Prodigy are going to be wielding in the next, certainly not going to be great. They could opt for an upgrade, and I feel like that's the type of cool that really separates the wheat from the chaff in kind of regard to in-game leaders. You've really not got great weaponry in this one. Obviously, Latting and Lomic can just invest in AKs, but is it worth upgrading those SMGs, or do you take the gamble? There's going to be a force from 1pin in this one.
Yeah, it's tough to know.
I love the fact that they brought out Julies. Usually you'd see some 5.7s, maybe even Deagles, but no. 1pin, twice the weapons. Oh, that is a wonderful find from Lomic. That's one of the rifles getting taken down. And Result hungry for more, even with the UMP. Might be able to find another, but the Julies from Leaf do find a frag. He has got a flashbang. We'll send it out, but so much damage taken there. It's full HP. And just from the shy bullets through the smoke, dropped down to 74. Really not a state he's going to want to be in, especially when facing off against these SMGs. Obviously, there is actually only 1 SMG remaining on the VP.Prodigy side. It is cheerful with the MAC-10. I feel like they're going to be searching for this M4, but we might see an exact repeat of what we saw in the last from 1pin. 3 rifles just saving. They've gambled towards B. And Leaf, he's not opted to retrieve the M4. Very weird. Maybe he didn't spot it. I hope VP.Prodigy don't outbrain themselves, don't outplay themselves. Oh, Leaf can find this frag. Oh, he hasn't been taken down. Jumping around the corner with the UMP. Has retrieved the MAC-10. 3 versus 3 now. And VP.Prodigy, the fact they took their time there has allowed Leaf to find a kill with the SMG. Can just go back and save that M4.
Could just be another save then. I mean, a lot of util on Chris 7 as well. Azubu's got a decent amount. Obviously, A's not an easy bomb site to retake, so just going to be keeping hold of these weapons.
It's just going to be a half buy in the next. Surely not going to be a full investment from the one pin side. But VP.Prodigy, they found their 5th round. They're looking good here. Obviously, they've got a long road to walk back.
They're starting to claw their way back into this one. 3 players alive again. They didn't upgrade those weapons, and they're kind of going to be rewarded for it. Resol is able to drop over an AWP, and that's exactly what we see. Latic's going to be wielding this big green now.
And Charlie, this would be a devastating end of the season for one pin if they don't close out this map. If we see VP.Prodigy somehow bring this one back, it would be absolutely awful for one pin. Obviously, a lot of rounds needing to go the way of VP.Prodigy though, and seeing as one pin are only 3 away from finding success here on the CT side, you've got to imagine they should be able to close this one out. We saw how strong VP.Prodigy were on the T side of Dust 2, and potentially they are just a team that favoured the T side.
Yeah, it certainly could be. Can't really make too many mistakes though. They lose one, forced onto an eco. Match point can be found very quickly. These Julies in play again on Shine. Quite like that the Julies are sort of having their place in the meta. Sort of a bit of a meme gun, fully getting used now. Leaf does fall. Shine towards the back of the site.
This nade could be perfect.
Docs in some real deep waters here.
Ooh,
In fact, doubles down. Finally does get found. Shine her towards ruins. Okay, that's a way to find him. Just straight through the smoke. Azuru does grab one back though.
As these 2 rifles remaining, things can work out here. Chris 7 with all the util saved from the last does have a kit as well. One pin, they could go for this, and if they do find success, that would be brilliant. Latic just gonna send the smoke towards CT.
Lomic isn't on for the ace, in fact. I think they're going to be... Oh, Azui with a slight gap does get chipped down a little bit.
Very minimal time remaining, but Azuru finds one. Second player towards ruins, but it's over. Oh, no, it's not. Does he have enough time with the kit? Oh, I guess we'll find out here. This is going to be so down to the wire. Oh my god, they get it. One pin. They're going to be thanking their lucky stars that we saw Chris 7 keep that kit. Keeps himself alive. And one pin, they find 14 in a round that potentially never should have gone their way. Dox was on the backside there. He was trapped. They knew he was there. But the fact he was able to find 2 kills and also delay for so long really was the difference maker in that round for one pin.
I mean, you also have to think, I'm not exactly sure who it was for VP.Prodigy, but the player towards Nubox at the end of that, they just sort of swung out and just started spamming. As the smoke faded, they were just a free kill.
I think it was Latic. It's the type of play we don't usually see from him.
Definitely costly. 14-5 now.
This is exactly what we mentioned. Obviously, VP.Prodigy, they need to play these rounds very cautiously, and they can't make any mistakes. Certainly made one in that round. They've now only got that kind of 1 round failure. You can only really be allowed to make one more major mistake anymore. You've got to assume one pin are going to close this one out.
You certainly do. VP.Prodigy lining up towards A. 3 players started B early for one pin, so this could be VP.Prodigy's best bet.
I like the
Bursting
motor
through this long smoke. Player still towards Pier. That's the lone A defender now. Have caught Azuu out on the rotation and taking down Shine on the side, just planting with this player in the pit. They are going to be aware of it.
Nice nade there. Does a lot of damage. The Molotov as well. Cheerful, very low. Cheerful does find Chris 7 though. 2 versus 3. But obviously, oh, they find the kill. They secure Lomic. He was one of the tag players from the HE grenade. The flash comes through. Leaf going to be aggressing a player blind on the back of the bomb site. The AWP has been heard. Leaf finds the frag, and now it's all on Latic. And I mentioned how mistakes can't be made. The flash going to come through, and surely everything's gone wrong here for VP.Prodigy. A great retake there from one pin. even with the disadvantage. They use the util to perfection. They tag Cheerful down solo with the Molotov. Lomit gets taken from the nades and then the spam. And Latic all alone there in apartments with the AWP. Once that smoke was dropped, I feel like we all knew where this one was going. And look at the money VP.Prodigy have to work with. They're going to need 10 rounds in a row just to take it to overtime. But I think we all know that Ancient will be up very shortly.
Yeah, and who knows what's going to happen here. This could be a sort of first 2 maps of a best of 3 being complete dominance just from different teams.
And that's why we mentioned that third and final map. Really going to be somewhat of a coin flip because both of these teams, they've looked great on Ancient in recent form. So you've got to imagine it's going to be an absolutely amazing final map.
It's going to be such a tough one to predict. VP.Prodigy, though, could be their final chance in this one.
Chris 7 playing a very nice angle here. Currently towards Grave. The flashes come through and they're going to line up. But Chris 7 struggling. Azuwu still towards balcony. We'll find one. Shine gets one with the AWP as well. 3 versus 3 now on this retake. And it's not going to be the easiest task. But we've seen OnePin look so good on these retakes so far. They've been playing them quite slowly, quite methodically. And that's certainly the playstyle they need to work with here.
Only one flashbang on the side of VP.Prodigy now. 2 Molotovs on OnePin. We saw how good the Molotovs were towards the backside last round. What can they do here?
Leaf definitely going to be the one to watch in this one as we see the Pip player swinging his way on out. Now we see Dox and Shine aggressing. Dox finds Cheerful and everything's going wrong for them. Minimal time remaining, but Shine finds him on the AWP and we've got the kill on Leaf. This is over. OnePin, they take it to Ancient here. It's going to come down to the wire, but they find it once again. A defuse from OnePin that comes down to the mere milliseconds, but an absolutely amazing match there from OnePin. And we are going to be going to Inferno. Not to Inferno, we're going to Ancient. We just finished off Inferno. And what a great play there from OnePin.
Yeah, I think VP.Prodigy definitely won't want to go on Inferno again after that. Got absolutely mutilated, similar to what they did to OnePin on Dust. But Ancient up next. I really don't even know what to say about this one because it's so up in the air. After those 2 sort of games, it doesn't even feel like we've got much to go off of. It's not even like one team dominated one map and then it was sort of a bit closer. It was just complete domination from either teams. So this, I feel like this surely has to be a close matchup here. This has to be a close affair. These teams clearly can't be split on Inferno or Dust, but maybe Ancient can be the decider.
Just to show how close this game has been, in fact, obviously from the last 2 games, if you kind of add the rounds up together, VP.Prodigy, they found 21 overall. OnePin, they have found 20. Still only 1 round between these teams. Both of those first games, yes, they were dominant, but it just goes to show that Ancient is going to be an absolutely amazing one. We will just jump to a short break before that third and final map, Ancient. Hello, hello there, guys. Welcome back. We are going to be jumping into the third and final map. It is Ancient. We mentioned how both of these teams, they've looked great on Ancient in the past, and now we're going to see it in its entirety. But what are your thoughts jumping into this one, Charlie?
Yeah, Ancient is going to be a really interesting one. We've seen a very strange best of three so far. Teams sort of dominating their own map pick. Really, the others not even having a glimpse, not really having any signs of life at all. But Ancient, final map, we're going to find out one of our finalists probably within the next hour, Fred. So really exciting stuff. But the ninth round, obviously, is best of three. So the final map, we're going to have a ninth round. And that could have a lot of implications on a map like Ancient.
It has gone the way of one pin as well, and I feel like they're going to be very happy with the result of that. Obviously, starting on that CT side, I feel like a lot of teams going to prefer starting on the CT side. Obviously, Ancient kind of had some recent changes. Potentially, you can no longer call them recent, but obviously, towards middle, the B bomb site, A bomb site, everything's kind of had a slight little change, but all of it does add up. And I feel like a lot of pros, a lot of people within the industry, within the scene, they kind of question whether Ancient's become less CT-sided or maybe whether it's kind of flipped and could even be T-sided. It's going to be an interesting one, though. No defender here towards A. And we are going to be seeing the smoke towards Donut. I think that's a CT smoke as well. VP.Prodigy, they're not messing around with the util in this one. They're going to burst their way onto the bomb site, and Azuwu might progress his way through this smoke. What shots with the dualies?
Yeah, a bit of chip damage found though. Actual kill converted just yet. 5v5 retake. Result very close to this smoke and finds a double. The lurking mid, not even needed.
Yeah, retrieves the dualies as well. It's planted for them in Donut. We've got 3 players there. Fen2k currently on the flank, but this is going to be really tough. They see the player off the bomb, and now the aggression comes through to Donut. Shine with a lot of work to do. Oh, and things are working out for them. We don't have a kit, though. I don't think they even have enough time. They're just hunting for the kill. Playing for the frags there. VP.Prodigy, they take the pistol. An important one at that. They kick things off on Ancient very nicely.
Impressive stuff from one pin, though. 5 versus 3, and they bring it back. End up sort of getting all the kills in that round. So you definitely just show that you can't count one pin out of any of these rounds.
Those kills have allowed Shine to get out the M4. An M4 and a force bite. I believe that must have been dropped over by Docs. That definitely could be a real difference maker in this one. Chris 7 already close with the 5-7. We've got 4 5-7s in play, Charlie. And I love to see it. If we see one pin take this one, be clear to see it was well worth the investment in this round, especially with the M4 on Shine. Lots of towards Cave.
I'm not a massive fan of the 5-7 myself, but I feel like these players we see time and time again in the SCL, these players absolutely dominate with it.
I feel like a side that we always see have that success with the 5-7s, zero tenacity. Time and time again, we see those individuals putting up numbers with that kind of, what would you call it? Pocket SMG? I don't know. It's just kind of does everything. You can kind of use it at range if your crosshair placement strong enough. Smokes will come through. Shine finds the kill onto Latic, an important one of that. And look at the spam. Instantly dropped Cheerful down very low. Chris 7 finds Wrestle through the smoke. Fen2k creeps his way out cave. 2 versus 4 now. Very dangerous round here for VP.Prodigy. Things certainly haven't worked out in their favor, but they eliminate the M4. The smokes do fade now, and the frags will come through. Fen2k trapped on the bomb site, certainly going to struggle, does get taken down. Lomic will be able to find one, but the 5-7s doing so much work in that round for one pin, and they win the force buy, they retrieve the rifles, and straight away they're bringing the firepower back to their opponents.
It looked like a bit of a major risk when we saw Shine getting flashed through. I don't know why the M4 was the player sort of bursting out of that smoke grey screen, but either way, the 5-7 stepped up when they needed to, found the kills. We're all leveled up. We've said time and time again, the second round is more important than winning the pistol round, because obviously the loss bonus is reset. We saw 4 5-7s, decent bit of util on each of them, about 2 pieces each, and the M4. What are we going to see from VP.Prodigy?
We might not even see any SMGs. It could just be the pistols. Fen2k and Lomic, realistically, the only players who could invest in a Mac 10. That would be at the cost of any utility. But they're not going to eco in this one, surely not. And it's Deagle's Techs and P250s. I like it.
Yeah, so you look at that. Basically, the difference in the buy was that M4. That definitely did step up when it was needed. Found the first kill, did significant damage to another.
You are going to be seeing somewhat of a fast pop here towards A. You do have a fair bit of util here for the VP.Prodigy side. 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a Molotov. They're going to be sending the smoke towards Donut and CT. We do have a Zulu towards Temple, though. Util will come through. It is, in fact, a Temple smoke. No smoke towards Donut. Lovely stuff from Shine. Just taps away. This is the problem with the lack of a Donut smoke. You allow a player like Leaf to just find these frags here and there. Cheerful will fall. That's the bomb at the grasp of the 1-pin side. And the final player, Fen2k, just on this lurk. He loves to lurk in these type of rounds, but only finding 1 and 1-pin. They string these rounds together. I'm just going to be against an eco in the next. We could see Docs bringing out the MP9.
I mean, already we've seen a more competitive game than we have in the other maps. We saw in both of them 8-round streaks initially. This one we've already seen a bit more back and forth.
Yeah, rightly so. As we mentioned, this definitely will be the map that these two teams both very confident on. See just the Glocks. That Molotov going to do so much damage. It forces the hand of the VP.Prodigy side, and Docs with a triple. Shine finds 1 with the USP, and Chris7 will be the final nail with that FAMAS. A great round there from 1-pin. Sadly for Shine, the MP9 not finding that much impact.
Either way, you might be able to catch some people off, get pretty aggressive. Even this buy is not perfect from VP.Prodigy. Obviously, it's not perfect from 1-pin either. They do have the Galil, the FAMAS, and the MP9, but a couple of Galils on the side of VP.Prodigy as well.
The real difference maker is 1-pin. Definitely will be able to get a buyout in the next, and Shine finding 1. Even if he gets taken down, a 1-for-1 trade. Especially with MP9. Nothing to scoff at, and look at that. Docs pushes through the Molotov just before it lands and takes down Fen2k. And as the smoke fades, Shine close to finding another. Dinks Result down to 24 HP, and instantly 1-pin. They are looking brilliant here on the CT side.
Yeah, this aggression really is working out wonders for 1-pin. Result so close to finding Chris7. Just fades his way back into cave and just gets out of dodge.
He got perfect timing there, Result. Leaf, though, towards middle. Surely going to take down Result. Will punish the opponent who tagged down Chris so heavily. And now it's just Latic that remains. He's kind of been the hero in both of these games for VP.Prodigy. Although they lost very dominantly on Inferno, Latic was the only real player putting up numbers throughout. But now, he's the one currently without a frag. Zoo in the backlines will take him down. Galil can be upgraded to the AK. We've got 4 rifles in play, and I think we know Shine's bringing out the AWP.
Could actually go for an MP9 again if you wanted, but I think safer bet might just be the AWP. Try to keep as many players alive as possible. VP.Prodigy still going to be on a weak buy once again. Just this partial investment. We still haven't seen him on a perfect buy.
Charlie, look at the money for 1-pin. It's so strong due to the fact that they've won these last 3 rounds so dominantly. And you could say even the last 4. Nice find from Shine, though. Takes down Cheerful. Leaf takes down Result as well. And the way that the 1-pin side are playing on the CT side of Ancient is very nice. They're not allowing VP.Prodigy to find an avenue, but Lomit goes searching for one. Takes down Leaf. Latic, situated towards Cave currently, is being held by Chris7. Oh, Lomit finds the AWPer there. That weapon could be retrieved and potentially gifted to Latic.
Lomit trying to dig his team out of a hole. And these deagle shots have certainly given an avenue into this. Solo defender towards B is Docs.
Latic just waiting for some aggression towards Cave, but it's not come through. The bomb will be retrieved. They've got 40 seconds to work with now. The smoke will land towards ramp. That position has been given away though, but now the rotations come through. And 1pin, they take somewhat of a gamble, leaving Chris 7 towards middle. And 2 defenders here towards B. Latic, he's aware of the player here. Azuu very close though. Position might get overlooked, and there we have it. Azuu finds Lomic. Latic, all that remains, just a Tech 9. 1 versus 3. Very minimal time and gets taken down there. 1pin, that is 5 rounds in a row for them here.
Finally, VP.Prodigy are on the bye. We've been waiting so long to see. They have to make this work. They can't let this one go too far out of control.
Now
this is do or die now for both teams. Winner of this advances to the finals. Loser does get eliminated.
VP.Prodigy, they've always been getting themselves to the semi-finals or even greater. They've yet to find the crown, but their chances could be gone here. Nice opening pick though, but Chris 7 with the trade. Cheerful, ready and waiting though. Swings out and will take down Chris 7. Resol finds one towards middle. And the first real fall by here for 1pin, or for VP.Prodigy, sorry, is working very well for them.
Only Shine is the final opponent, stopping them from finding their second. Should be able to find a freebie towards a great shot.
Straight away going to be rotating towards the B-bomb site. Understanding how these two players are going to be playing. There's a massive gap in that smoke. Shine definitely has something to work with. Latic, I don't know if he's been spotted here. Oh, Shine gets the tag, finds the frag. Final player towards Cave. It's all on Shine. Tucked away here. Shine surely going to struggle. Oh, he spots the player, gets the no-scope. And what a clutch. Another 1 versus 3 for Shine. That is absolutely ridiculous. He did it on Inferno towards the B-bomb site. And he's done it here on Ancient once again towards B. And Shine, what a player in this one so far. 11-3. And what a clutch.
I mentioned only one player standing in the way of VP.Prodigy finding their second on the board, but that player was Shine, the clutch god himself. Won so many in this series alone. And like you mentioned, another 1 versus 3. This man is on fire.
Those type of rounds are really near impossible, and they should never go the way of that kind of player isolated. A 1 versus 3. Even with the AWP, if we saw VP.Prodigy playing together, it would have been near impossible for Shine to clutch that one out. Was just given some nice 1v1s. But the fact he pushed through that smoke, he knew he needed to take a risk. Obviously, he could have been held there, but it worked out perfectly. And sometimes in those really tough clutches, you've got to take a risk. You have to make a play because you can't really play the numbers. You're on your own.
VP.Prodigy do still have a buy thanks to that bomb plant and the loss bonus. Just going to be AK. It's going to be quite challenging to get the AWP out. Utah's very lackluster though. Resto has saved 1,000 in the bank, so I think they are saving for that AWP for Latic. I mean, when you compare the two AWPers in this matchup alone, you've got Shine 11-3, Latic 0-7.
It's devastating for Latic as well because been so great in the last 2 maps, but potentially has just been fried. Obviously, this has been a very long series. Going to this 3rd and final map. And what are you expected to kind of be the top performer on all 3? Surely that's too tall of a task. Zuu dodging the second flash and finds a kill, does a lot of damage, and then I doubt they expect the second player here. No need to swing through the smoke there, Leaf. You've got a player in Donut. Shine will find one.
Shine actually missed his first shot and they didn't react to him at all. Look at the time though. Bomb is going to be planted. Player towards mid.
It takes down the bomb planter, Charlie. It's over.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
And Latic, all that remains, the player with 0 kills, forced to keep hold of this AK. Oh, he go drop. Oh, so close to each other. Latic lucky to survive. But yeah, like you said, the bomb planter just getting dropped. Time was too low really for VP.Prodigy, and it was all said and done.
Yeah, Chris 7 was so close to the bomb site as well. Once he heard the tick, just got that kind of pinpoint accuracy, knew exactly where he's planted, right in the smoke. There's nowhere else for the bomb to be planted there, especially with Shine towards Donut. There was no safe place apart from reverse default.
I love this here, Fred. A tactical timeout was called. Called by 1pin.
I think they're
7-1 up.
Might want to bring out the double AWP. We've seen Docs utilising the AWP in the past, but no.
I think just doing it to keep on applying the pressure. Don't allow VP.Prodigy to get back into this game at all. And this is sort of the thing that separates good teams from great. And 1pin right now, they are playing some great CS. It seems like just these maps have been so dominant. We've seen VP.Prodigy absolutely annihilate 1pin on the first map on Dust 2. 1pin, it was their turn to dominate on Inferno. And here, 1pin, they're keeping that form from Inferno. They don't want to let VP.Prodigy have any say in this one. But look at this aggression towards Cave. These flashes, the players completely isolated in the smoke towards doors. These two other Ts just can't even challenge.
And that flash from Azuwu, so important. Blinded the two aggressors there. Cheerful searching for a pick. Might be given another opportunity to do so here as he swings out. Oh, finds Docs. The one holding the angle. 4 versus 3 here. But 1pin, they've looked absolutely amazing on the CT side so far. Nice find there from Azuwu. He was the one who set his team up for success earlier on. Cheerful 4 HP. Leaf gets a double to close it out. And 1pin, they take the half here, 8-1. This is an absolutely amazing start for them. And they need to keep this one going because I feel like we mentioned how Ancient favoured both of these teams. It's the reason it's the third map because both of them, they're feeling confident on it. But 1pin, they had so much success on Inferno, and they're the ones with that momentum coming through here onto Ancient. Lovely aggression here from Azuwu. It might catch up this player aggressing mid. Finds Lomic. Great opening pick here. Retrieves the AK. And once again, we see somewhat of a B lean here from VP.Prodigy as they've got 3 players towards lane.
This is the thing about having Ancient as the third map, isn't it? A map that potentially is still CT-sided. And the fact that 1pin just wins the knife round and they go on the favoured side.
Yeah, obviously siding. Having a lot of favour in this one. And potentially for VP.Prodigy, they can find a couple more rounds in this half. It's not all over. But we said that on Dust. We said it on Inferno. We're going to see another very dominant first half from one of these sides. That is the question. And I guess
already it is looking good for 1pin. The half has been won. He is surely going to be the end game for VP.Prodigy here.
Matic's still on this boost.
Oh, look at this CT stack, Fred.
There's nothing
He's the only player not towards the B side. Shines, gets an inquisitive, finds the first. No trade, even in near sight at all. Flashbang's coming over. Doc should just be in front of any util. Finds the first. Got info on Fen 2K. Best him as well on Result. Wondering where his team's gone. Hasn't even had to have a say. And Leaf towards mid. Finishes him off. All 5 surviving from 1pin. Domination. 1pin fell at the quarterfinals last season. They failed to best Iron Branch. But here, they are looking so strong. So well versed. They want to make it to their first final. And they're only 7 rounds away, Fred.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They put on a great show here today, even after that shaky first result. Kind of reminding me of the VP.Prodigy versus Into the Breach game. Kind of provides me with that similar thought. It's just going to be a half buy here for VP.Prodigy, so you've got to expect 1pin should be able to best this one. But I loved how they played that. We've been seeing VP.Prodigy end towards the B bomb site time and time again, or at least try and attempt to. So Leaf just tucked away in cubby, and they knew they'd either have to rotate the whole way through T-spawn, or they'd go through middle and get caught off by Leaf there. So you've got to imagine 1pin, just off the back of the information, they could just take that 4-man gamble. It is going to be this A hit here, though. 4 players lined up, 2 smokes, 3 flashes, and that Molotov. They've kind of got enough util for an execute. But when it comes to holding off the bomb site, it is going to be tough.
I think the bomb plant's the main sort of aim of the game here. Latting, to point out, still on 0 kills. Tag from Shine, no kill converted.
Snake could do a lot of damage. Look at that. Chips 3 players down, and now Azuwu engages. Only able to find one. Cheerful with the trade. Fen2k will get the bomb down here. AK has been retrieved by Result. Certainly going to have to be a hero in this one. Obviously, VP.Prodigy, they can still win this round, but Shine posted up on the angle, gets a freebie with the orb, and he's searching for a second now. Result still towards Donut. 2 players towards CT, but the smoke should allow one of them to cross, get themselves onto the bomb site. 3 versus 3 now, and Fen2k in a really important position here. Brings it to a 2 versus 3, and Result pushes through the smoke in a great position. It's all on Shine. Another 1v3. Does find the first with the AWP, but surely it's too far gone. VP.Prodigy, they find their second round on the board here.
It's just come from sort of an A-hit with the pistol. I think the fact that nobody came from Donut from 1pin really made things very challenging. Just saw sort of VP.Prodigy confirm that Donut was clear, and they were able to just sort of all stay on the site, play around the smokes, and make themselves a real nuisance for 1pin.
I think as well, Shine, the fact he didn't find a kill until very late on, especially as he was that A defender. Potentially we needed to see him creep his way out onto big box. Obviously it's a risk when using the AWP there. But I feel like Shine, it's a position where he'd love to play, consistently hitting those important AWP shots. And it's going to be a fast beat here, Charlie. All the success that VP.Prodigy had in the last could be taken away from them. They do lose a kill very early on, but they do find one back. 2 players have been tagged down fairly low, and things could go very wrong here for VP.Prodigy. I like the idea of this fast speed play, but losing a kill early on, and the util sent from 1pin has halted their aggression. And look how deep Azuwu is already. I doubt they're going to be expecting this aggression, but Azuwu, he is very well versed. He knows what's going to happen. The rotations are going to come through, but Fen2k tasked with taking him down. An important kill there, but that's another player who's been chipped down to half now for VP.Prodigy.
Shine's going to be picking up this A site now. And VP.Prodigy look like they're going back towards B. There are 2 defenders here for now, but it looks like they're backing off. Might be seeing a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, 1pin, they've opted for these gambles time and time again. Has worked out for them in the past. They do have a little bit of util to go for the retake, but not leaving a single player towards B. Surely too much of a risk. Obviously, 1pin, they previously gambled towards B, and VP.Prodigy, they went right into the stack, but
they could push up short here.
Oh, this flank could be absolutely amazing.
And Shine's rotating in the meantime. They're going to be able to catch off the bomb. They've got to back off. Look how split this is. The bomb's gone.
There's nothing they can do now. It's absolutely over, surely. They've got 20 seconds to work with 2 players towards short, and we're going to be seeing Shine rotate his way on in.
He can just hold the ramp. They're never going to expect this. They found the first player. Just tugged on, holding, no idea. Cheerful falls, and Lomik so low HP. Shine takes him down as well. 10 rounds on the board, perfectly played. The fact that the bomb was the player with all the util, really difficult, and the flank was perfect. I think we were questioning the call. It looked dodgy, but the fact that VP.Prodigy were really taking their time, slightly too cautious, perhaps, really punished them. Fred to point out, if 1pin do win this game, I do believe they'll be the first UK team in the SCL final.
And I can't wait to see how they do fare. I feel like the second we saw Into the Breach and Iron Branch both get eliminated, this is where we kind of expected a team like 1pin to step up, and now this is their chance. Obviously, as you mentioned, they did get eliminated by the previous winners in the quarterfinals, but this is the semi-finals now, and 6 rounds away from getting their spot in that grand finals position.
Started this round off very well as well. Cheerful, brought down to 14 points of health. Azuwu, I love this angle. It's so cheeky. Latic seemed aware, but does get dropped down heavily. A couple of players now on VP.Prodigy very low. Latic, to point out once again, still yet to find his first kill. 0 and 11. And when he's been a player who's such a consistent player for VP.Prodigy, this is the worst time for him to be struggling.
Clearly just run out of gas in the tank. You see him putting so many numbers. Dust to Inferno really was the one-man team on Inferno, but it wasn't enough. And now when it's got to Ancient, I feel like this series has just taken it out on him. And it would be so tough as well, because obviously, you know, it's so clear that Latic is this win condition. Without him fragging, VP.Prodigy are struggling, and look at Leaf in the back lines, takes down Cheerful. 5 versus 4 now. It is going to be this A hit. I doubt they're going to be aware of Azuwu. They don't seem... they're just completely clueless. Azuwu with a double. Leaf able to find Fen2k, and it's just Latic. 0 and 11 to try and clutch this one out. And I'll
There's
be
10
honest.
seconds on the clock. There's a chance they might try to hunt him off the time.
I'll be honest, Charlie. Regardless of time, let's say we take that out of the factor and we don't look at this game on face value. I think if there's anyone on the VP.Prodigy side to best a 1v5, it would be Latic, but it's just struggling so hard in this game. We need to see more from him, but is he even going to get the opportunity?
I mean, I was kind of hoping we might see a few players try to push to hunt Latic, and he might be able to find a couple of frags just to try to get warmed up a bit, just to try to find anything to build a bit of confidence, because the more and more rounds that goes on, the more he's going to be thinking, oh, I'm the detrimental player to this team. I'm the reason they're not being able to find anything, but there's his first kill. Advantageous peak for a molly and a nade. 30 points of health, but he kicks things off very well.
Yeah, it's just going to be this A hit here as well. Chris 7 going to be getting in the back lines. We needed a player in Donut on their last A retake, and they've got one now. Nice shot from Shine. Takes down Lomic. Going to be sending the flashbang as well. Latic currently holding the AWPer and finds him. The top performer here for 1pin. It's taken him 14 rounds to come alive. But if that's what it takes, if we see VP.Prodigy come back into this one, I don't think they'll mind too much. But Latic with even more work to do in this one. We do have a flank coming through. The bomb is halfway ticked, and Doc's going to be aggressing now. The AWP of Latic has been spotted. Will get found. A jump shot there. Chris 7 in the back lines does find Fen2k as well. Oh, and everything's gone wrong. That's the round over. VP.Prodigy, they looked as though they were working out so well in that round, but it doesn't even matter. 12 rounds have been found for 1pin. 4 away from getting that grand final spot. And what a series it's been.
Performing player. He was the only one able to find anything in that thread. There were so many players on VP.Prodigy were so pushed up. It felt like they were in perfect positions just to catch off some 1pin players, but nothing connected. They found absolutely nothing in Latic. It really felt like the round was on his shoulders. The player who's been having such a tough time, you just can't put that sort of pressure on him. 12-2 Fred. Final round of the half. VP.Prodigy, it feels like even if they get this, it could be so tough. The flash is perfect. Cheerful pushes through the molly, and Chris 7's going to be tested. Just drops the smoke, allowing him to fall back.
Send the nade as well. Just miss him his mark. I feel like at this point in time, at the point in the game, the pressure is going to be high. Util's certainly not going to be perfect, but the fact he tagged himself with that nade potentially allowed Cheerful to find that frag. But Charlie, it's a
good nade.
Best case.
Enemy.
Oh yeah, definitely 40 damage there. The best case scenario here for VP.Prodigy is they find 3 rounds. I still don't think that's enough. Obviously, potentially with the kind of old ancient, you could say it's 12-3. Not something that we kind of never seen before.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
But now, with the recent changes, the T's have looked stronger and stronger, but certainly not here for VP.Prodigy.
And even this, the issue is, around like this, you're looking and thinking, yeah, this is a good one for VP.Prodigy, but just the eye test, how this game has gone in general, it doesn't feel safe, does it? It feels like 1pin always have something up their sleeve. Shine's still alive, the Clutch Meister himself.
Doc's gonna be spamming his way on through, does a lot of damage to Resol, does have a nade, could send that onto the bomb. Oh, and that will be Resol to fall. No bomb planted. Spam through the smoke there. We do have a Molotov from Azuru, but the bomb will go down. Oh, Dogs, you
The smoke's gone as well now. Everything's very exposed.
And we still have a Molotov from Azuru. That's landing towards default. You mentioned how they've always got something up their sleeve. And look at that, Fen2k. Dropped down to 33 HP. 3 versus 3 now. All players caught on the bomb site. Great find from Leaf. Takes down Fen2k. And was the player chipped down to the Molotov? They're aware of this player in cave. Dogs needs to find the frag. It's successful. It's all on Latic. 1 versus 2 now. And the bomb's just going to get stuck. But as it fades, he gets the no-scope. Oh, and he misses the quick scope. And that is something you never see from Latic. It is so clear that this final map has broken this individual.
I'm speechless. That is unbelievable, Fred. He had the opportunity. Docs just held it. He was hoping he had enough time that the AWP couldn't ring out, but it did. It had another chance, but Latic, that is brutal. He's had such a tough game so far. These last couple of rounds have given him something to build some confidence, and all that confidence, he's worked so hard to get shut down in that one shot. He had the opportunity. He's here, sitting, looking at Docs, just seeing his mistake in front of him. That is so brutal. 13-2, Fred. 3 rounds off. It's been the same scoreline, or near enough the same scoreline in every single map. But this one, 1pin, there's something different about them, isn't it? It feels like this is their game to take. They're ready. They're done messing around. This game's gone on long enough and they're ready for this final.
Yeah, they've clearly prepared for it. Ancient a map that they've well drilled. They knew it was going to be on the cards as this third and final one. And it's so clear to see that their CT side is like no other. Such a strong start here. Such a strong half from 1pin. And I feel like if that were me, that'd be a broken keyboard. You've got to imagine Latic, as you mentioned, just sat there watching his own mistake. The mentality of this individual definitely broken after that one. Because he could have been the hero. He's certainly not had the greatest of games whatsoever. And he could have been the one to give them an extra round. But the Julies on the bomb side, Cheerful will be able to find 2. 2 versus 4 now. Cheerful. He's done so much work. It's just Shine remaining. And 1pin. They don't take the pistol here. VP.Prodigy now on this CT side. They found their 3rd round on the board. But Charlie, they're 10 rounds behind. And they took the they've had both pistol rounds. They've only found three. They've only found 3 rounds of play, and 2 of them have been the pistol.
One was a full buy. No, it wasn't even a full buy. It was a pistol round. It was just an A hit.
Yeah, with the Tech 9s, just goes to show how there is a real difference between these two sides.
Yeah, at least on Ancient, certainly. At least in this matchup today, just going to be the eco for 1pin. They don't want to mess around. They want to get this full buy as quick as possible. They want to end this here and now.
Very deep towards middle. 3 MP9s in play. I feel like 1pin, their main aim here, a couple eliminations. Hardly any util remaining.
They are very pushed up towards this B, which is a little bit worrying. In case just someone sort of gets caught out with a nade, a flashbang. Just anything, it could go slightly wrong. If they find these players, 1pin can get this bomb down.
That'll be a massive key factor. We could see Shine in the AWP if we see the bomb go down. But as time ticks away, surely 1pin is slowly going to be creeping to go for this now. And as you mentioned, it is all about timing. It's all about whether they can find these kills. Fen2k. Oh, he's let a lot of them cross, and there we have it. There's 2 kills going their way. The bomb can go down, as we mentioned before, and that definitely was the main aim. A bomb plant, 2 kills, and Chris 7 on MP9 can make things work, but he's all alone now. 1 versus 3, got himself towards Cave. Will be facing off against Cheerful, but no mistakes there from Cheerful. Does find the frag.
Yeah, job done anyway. 2 kills found. A bomb plant. You can't really ask for much more on a full Glock round.
And I feel like we've seen kind of worse rounds on force buys. Just with the Glocks invested, they'll be very happy with the result of that one. And I wonder, thought we might have seen a kind of no head armor, AWP out for Shine, but just bringing out the AK. 1pin, 3 rounds away from solidifying their place in the grand finals. And then they're going to be facing off against the victor in the Hotu versus Zero Tenacity game. Miss smoke there. That could play a massive part. You're going to be seeing this aggression towards Shelf. Nice nade there, Leaf and Azuwu. Chip down a little. Flashbang will come through from Shine. Lovely flashbang there. Azuwu does find Lomic. He takes down Cheerful as well. Result does get the trade though. 3 versus 3.
Yeah, still very up in the air. This cave fight could be very instrumental. Chris 7 doesn't really look like he wants to take it that much. In fact, neither does Resol. Both players just back off. Bomb's making its way towards A.
It is Latic. It is the player who has been struggling defending this A bomb site. And look how much util 1pin have to work with here. 2 smokes, 3 flashes, 2 mollies and 2 HEs. Compared to the 3 flashes and a nade. They don't even have any util to hold this attack. No Molotov, no smoke. They can retrieve a smoke and a flash there towards middle.
We've seen a very similar sort of push here from VP.Prodigy. If 1pin sort of held off 5-10 seconds, VP.Prodigy would be flanking B, but enough time for them to rotate in. Latte towards the bomb site, really struggling to hit his shots. Able to back away though.
On this nade, could have been perfect. Shine going to be planting in the center of the bomb site even, and it's just Shine remaining. We've seen him best these 1v3s before, but Fen2k in the back lines. A lovely double there. And VP.Prodigy, they do take the round. 3 in a row for them here. I wonder what we see from 1pin. We could just see a MAC-10 rush beat, try and get the bomb down, try and reduce the economy of their opponents. They could opt for a full buy, but I feel like that's not the type of playstyle that 1pin opt for. I say that.
It's a bit mixed, isn't it?
We see 2 players
investing. A couple of players are sort of half-bought. Leaf and Docs have got the AK, so I think they're heavily gambling for this bomb plant here. Oh, that nade does so much damage. Chris Sevens all alone. The other player sort of held back by the Molotov, and Lomic's pushing. This bomb plant could just be a bit of a distant memory at this point.
Zuru, though, does find Result, an important kill there. Lomic, though, swinging on through. Gets a double, and Cheerful finds a Zuru as well. VP.Prodigy, they find their 6th. 7 rounds away from their opponents, and 10 away from closing it out. It's going to be like a double half buy here. Hero AK and Galil out on Azua and Chris 7. Shine once again with the Deagle. I think he's wanted this AWP out for quite some time, but these 2 kind of mismanaged buys won't allow him to bring it out until the next. It is going to be this A hit, and Latic on the AWP, posted up in a very deep position. And I love the playstyle. We already know how Latic's going to play that. Find a pick, back away, try and get another. Could see a boost up here. Player on the backside, the nade could do a fair bit of damage, but Shine takes him down with a Galil. A really important find there. 4 versus 4. The bomb can go down. Oh, they know it's planted in this left-hand side position, and I love that kill, but Lomic not quick enough. The bomb does go down. Result holding the back lines.
Still very up in the air here, Shine. A lot of work to do. The only rifle in this round, dropping the smoke, giving him a bit more room to play around. Leaf very close here towards Temple. Finds Fen 2K. A second player coming. 2 more players coming, trying to get the trade. They do get the job done. 3 versus 2 now. VP.Prodigy heavily favored in this round.
The time's ticking away, Charlie. They've got barely any time to work with now, and they just have to stick the bomb. Can't have a missed shot from Latic in this one. They do get the defuse, though, and Latic does take down Docs.
Very dicey. Was only the half buy, came down to the wire. 2 players surviving, and 3 kills found.
And a round like that
bomb plant as well
can affect their opponent's economy. Obviously, the lack of a loss bonus here for VP.Prodigy. If they lose one of these rounds, they will get a buy in the next. But if we see 1pin string 2 rounds together, they find 15, and VP.Prodigy have no money to work with. So you've got to imagine, Charlie, 1pin, all they need to do, find a round, string them together, and they should be able to find all 3.
It's very scary when you think about it like that. Just a couple of mistakes from VP.Prodigy can cost them the whole series, cost them a spot in the final.
And it's a real redemption for them as well, because they have done so well in previous seasons. And this potentially could be their best opportunity to take that crown. But it's still not over. 1pin. They ended that first half 13-2. They're yet to post a round up on the T side. Like the idea of the double nade there. We've seen the players playing quite aggressive towards ramp in prior engagements, so definitely makes sense. Latic creeping his way towards Donut with the AWP.
Two plays in Donut here for VP.Prodigy. A boost towards B as well, and Cheerful rotating over.
I think it's going to be this A play though.
Latic towards Donut. Flash is going to come over.
Does blind him. Lee finds one. Latic does get his first and the second. Needs to find the third, but Shine aware of the left-hand side peek. 3 versus 3, and I love this from Shine. Instantly picking up the AK. He understands the importance, but the flash comes through. The bomb's been taken down, and Cheerful needs to get found here. He does get eliminated. 15 seconds to work with. But there's a player already close to the CT smoke, but Resol progressing through Donut. They need to be aware of this. 9 seconds remaining. Resol finds one. It's all on Shine, and he surely can't win this. Only 4 seconds remaining. The bomb, in fact, could go down, but no. Oh, it does go down. That is a real misplay there.
One could have actually got a ball by in the next round anyway, but this will allow Shine to get an AWP no problem. That's a slight problem, but Yeah, will be. It can get an AWP out. Will be Kevlar. AWP, no utility, but
Could have seen
has
Leaf or
just.
Docs could have dropped one as well.
Yeah, obviously, money wasn't perfect on either of them either, but Bomb Plant definitely gives 1pin a bit more to play with. VP.Prodigy doing a good job to close the gap.
They're closing the gap, but these rounds are still getting fairly close. Obviously, only 2 players surviving in that one. All it takes is 1pin. All it takes, you know, as I mentioned before, find 2 in a row. Job done. You should be able to find all 3. Nice nade there onto Docs. Fen2k going to be swinging out the smoke. Cheerful. Lovely little one-way there.
VP.Prodigy have been trying to abuse this a bit. Haven't found anything from the smoke yet, but it does just stop 1pin sort of peeking through that at all. Don't even want anything to do with that smoke.
2 players playing quite aggressive towards middle. We have got Fen2k and Cave. And it is Result defending from the bomb site. Latic slowly creeps his way into Donut. Something to remember, Charlie. Latic was 0-11 at one point. Currently 9-13. Potentially AWPing on the T side of Ancient isn't a place that Latic enjoys, but Azuru needs to find a kill towards middle. Gets taken down by Latic. Cheerful in a great position. No right-hand side smoke. Allows him to find a kill. Fen2k on the bomb safe finds one. And Cheerful gets another. It's all on Shine. 1 versus 4. He had an amazing 1v3 earlier, but surely can't do clutch one step harder.
Fred, there's a real possibility we could sort of see this one be the close matchup we wanted. Might just take a bit of a while to get there. VP.Prodigy, after winning this, they'll be just 4 rounds behind. And considering the scoreline, 13-2 at the half.
Something we certainly weren't expecting. 17 seconds to play with here. Latic towards Cave. It's all about the timing on his jiggle. I think he might go for it soon. Doesn't even matter. Cheerful will take him down. 1pin. 13 rounds. VP.Prodigy, they've got themselves 9. That's 7 in a row on their CT side. And 1pin, although they looked so dominant on their own CT half, potentially questioning as to how they haven't even closed it out yet. They only need 3 more rounds, Charlie. They really are struggling. And obviously, as this game gets closer and closer, the pressure certainly increases for this 1pin side.
Latic. Partial investment once again from 1pin. I suppose it's tough to know what 1pin need to change, but it's obvious they need to change something. B-site has been claimed. The bomb will go down, but man disadvantage.
Result trapped in the corner here. It's all about timing. Oh, Leaf swing is timed to perfection. 4 versus 4 now. The weapon can be retrieved. Another smoke towards Cave. All 4 CTs are in Cave.
This is so dangerous. This is far too big a risk. I think they realise they're trying to get people out of here.
We got a player already towards B main though. That is Shine. Just needs to take his time. He's been cleared by all 3, but he finds one. Deters their attention away, but there's surely no time. You need to find 3 kills here. Azuru will get 1, but it's there's surely not enough time. This Latic's gonna have to clutch this one out, but no. Certainly not enough time. Leaf will be able to find the frag. Surely going to get taken down by the bomb, but 1pin, they find 14. And that was the off the back of the Tech 9 round. Something to mention.
It's not even perfect. VP.Prodigy, this could really be the undoing. Just a couple of players not having a perfect buy.
And Charlie, something to mention. Obviously, Latic was a player on the T side that certainly was struggling. As I mentioned, he was 0-11 at one point. Since then, he is 11-3. He has stepped up beyond belief on this switch to the CT side. He's kind of put himself amongst his teammates in the kill department. The real question is, if 1pin closed this out, could it have been ever so slightly too late?
I mean, yeah, it's always going to be possible, but it is certainly a team game, isn't it? You look at the top fraggers on 1pin, Shine and Azuru, 23 kills and 22 on Azuru. And you look at the top fraggers on VP.Prodigy, 16 and 15 on Cheerful and Fen2k. There's a pretty significant difference between the players at the very top of the scoreboard. So I think it'll be tough to pin it all on Latic, but I think you really have to commend him the fact that he's come back into this game, especially after losing that clutch in the final round, missing easy shots compared to what we're used to, I suppose, and just the fact that he's really stepping up now.
Miss Molly there from Result. Going to make things fairly tough as there is no Molotov behind that smoke. But something to mention, Charlie, this is exactly what I said. All it takes, 1 misplay. We see a weak buy from VP.Prodigy. They've put all their eggs in this one basket because they don't want to give they don't want to give 1pin match point, and rightly so. But in doing so, if VP.Prodigy don't win this round, it could be over. They're going to be utilizing, we're going to be seeing MP9s, maybe some Deagles in play in the next. So VP.Prodigy, they've got all the pressure on their shoulders now. Flash will come through. Oh, Latic needs to keep himself alive. Azuwu will find Lomic. Chris 7 takes down Result. 4 versus 3 now, and Latic's been chipped down massively. Everything's going wrong now for this VP.Prodigy side. And I think potentially the initial half was just too far gone. And as you mentioned, VP.Prodigy, their stars just kind of uncomparable in comparison to 1pin.
Still not over yet, though. 2 players for VP.Prodigy towards B. This could be the saving grace. Looks like Latic's going to be rotating as well. Have a bit of a gamble, but they're so aware that the flash is going to come in.
Well,
playing anti.
VP.Prodigy had to take a risk. They had to kind of make a heroic play to close this one out, but Latic surely just going to save. 1 versus 3, 22 HP, 1pin. They're going to find themselves on match point. 6 opportunities to close this one out, to take themselves to the grand finals here. And as you mentioned, they will be the first British team to do it.
It's been a long time for 1pin to sort of being able to find their first round on this T side, but finally when they come, they're all seemingly coming, find 2 in a row, stringing them together. You mentioned we could be seeing Deagles, MP9s on VP.Prodigy to keep them alive in this game, alive in the tournament really, still giving them a shot for the final. Latic's Orb is going to be the only real weapon they can play with.
Yeah, 1pin's round just like a bus. Takes a while to arrive, but when one comes, you see the rest. 2 in a row now, and as I mentioned, look at the money they've got to work with. Probably an average of 2k on the remainder of the players, and Latic surely needs to drop over an MP9 in this one. He's got money to do so, but hasn't even opted for it. Oh, this could be dire. This could be very dangerous. Potentially the final round here of this semi-final, and then we will find out if 1pin, we'll find out who they're playing against. Obviously it's not over, but VP.Prodigy need to find 6 rounds in a row, and they really don't have the weaponry for it. 3 Deagles, an MP9, and the saved ult from Latic. Surely it's not enough. Bit of the Fen 2K cam here. This is the part of CS you don't get to see. Just the hiding behind the box.
Yeah, this is the boring part that a lot of sort of anchors have to deal with, but 3-4 flashbangs is all the utility the VP.Prodigy do have remaining. Looks like this could be the final resting place for VP.Prodigy.
They have made a gamble here. It is just Latic defending towards B. Obviously, very weak weapons holding off this A attack, but a lot of util coming through. And Latic gonna have to rotate his way on through, but Azuwu finding Fen 2K. Chris 7 takes down Cheerful, and things are going from bad to worse here. Oh, it's all gonna be on Latic. 1 versus 5 now. If there was a time to step up, it would be here, but 1pin, they close it out. They find a spot in the grand finals, and congratulations to them, especially after they got dominated so early on VP.Prodigy's map pick. What a game that was. What a semi-final, and I cannot wait to see who they will be facing off against, because that was absolutely amazing. It had everything. We saw the early domination from VP.Prodigy on Dust, then we saw the exact flip on Inferno, and that was a real battle between the two, but realistically, 1pin, they just had that slight edge on that CT side. They looked absolutely amazing. So congratulations to them, the first British team in this grand finals for the SCL. We've had 6 seasons. It's taken a while, but 1pin potentially could take the crown.
Yeah, certainly a possibility now after that performance on the final 2 maps from them. But VP.Prodigy, after sort of the initial Dust 2 in this series, and obviously the Into the Breach game in the quarterfinals, it looks like they finally found their form in the SCL this season. They're very slow to start. Their regular season was not nearly as good as it normally is. And obviously in previous seasons, they've been finalists and semi-finalists. So it feels like this was the moment for them where they can actually get that crown. But something changed after Dust. On Inferno, they had nothing going. And similar to Ancient as well, they were just far too late to show us anything. And obviously, you have to think maybe the knife round has something to do with that a bit more than we want to admit. But sadly, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Really great effort from VP.Prodigy. Hopefully, if they can continue the sort of regular season like this in the next one, I think they can do bigger and better things as well. But one pin, like you mentioned, congratulations to them. Grand finals, Hotu and Zero Tenacity are our final semi-finalists. I believe that game's tomorrow. So finals will be revealed, and it's going to be so exciting.
And the grand final is going to be on the 25th, so make sure you put that in your calendars because that's going to be absolutely amazing to watch. But let's delve into the stats of that one. We can kind of talk about the series now. No real pressure at all, but that was an absolutely amazing game. I feel like One Pin, they showed so much success on both Ancient and Inferno. And realistically, we speak about Inferno being kind of the king of the third map, so a map that we always see in these series. But Zero Tenacity, Hotu, you're going to be looking at this series. Are you going to be banning Inferno? Is that what we're going to be seeing in the grand final? Because I certainly wouldn't want to play against One Pin on Inferno.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting is obviously Zero Tenacity as well are a very talented Inferno team. Hotu, obviously we've seen a couple of games from them. I don't feel like I've got as much input on them as I do the others, but we have seen a couple of Inferno games from Hotu as well, and they're also very talented, so I feel like it's going to be tough to sort of ban a map like Inferno, but it certainly could be the decider in this. Potentially, that's one pin won't be banning, and we could be seeing that in the third map where it should be, I sort of feel like. But yeah, it is going to be interesting. MVPs for that series. Who are you thinking? I feel like Shine and Azuwu are players you sort of do have to mention.
Yeah, definitely.
On the side of One Pin at least.
Yeah, I feel like they both performed very well. I feel like Shine definitely. He was the top performer. You know, on the Dust 2 Inferno game. You know, you combine those two games together. He was the only player who was positive. He ended those two 33 and 31. Obviously still close, but yeah, I feel like Shine definitely kind of really stepped up there. And I feel like it was a game of AWPers. I feel like, yes, Latic probably didn't have the perfect performance on Ancient, but Latic, after those Inferno and Dust games, 40 and 24, stepped up absolutely amazingly for VP.Prodigy there. And although didn't have the greatest of starts on the T side of Ancient, once we saw that flip to the CT side, we did see Latic stepping up there, but potentially it was a little too far gone. And as we mentioned, the individuals, kind of the top of the tops there for One Pin were just far greater on Ancient in comparison to VP.Prodigy, but an absolutely great game. But yeah, I'd probably say those two. What about for VP.Prodigy for you?
Yeah, I feel like Latic has to be mentioned, which is really disappointing because obviously just sort of the recency bias, you're going to be thinking, oh, Latic on Ancient, it wasn't that impressive, but he was obviously the top performing player in the whole server on Dust. And then the fact that he was almost the top fragger, he was second fragger on Inferno, a game they lost 16-5. I mean, that definitely stands for something. He had 71% entry success on Inferno as well, so he was definitely doing his part for the team. Sadly, just people weren't really stepping up around him. It was, like you said, Ancient was a bit rough for him, really slow to start. Was very similar in terms of frags to the rest of his team, though, which if you look at it like that, it's quite an interesting thing to look at. But entry success in general for VP.Prodigy on Ancient was very poor. Only one player went positive, one went neutral, and the neutral player was Cheerful, who just had one entry frag, so just went for 2 attempts. So in terms of the first kills, that definitely seems to be a big thing in terms of why VP.Prodigy didn't really have any chance to win Ancient. They just kept on losing the initial picks, couldn't really find anything. Whereas on the side of One Pin, they were very comfortable doing it. You've got players like Azuwu, 6 entry frags, 86% success. Real great stuff there. But I feel like you have to give it to Latic because in general, throughout the whole season, throughout this whole series, he was very impressive. Sadly, just a bit of a slow start on Ancient, and that's the one that masses most.
And I feel like you really kind of pick apart the difference between the two AWPers, and I feel like the main difference is the clutches. I feel like time and time again we saw Shine providing them for us, whether it be on the AWP with a rifle in hand, even with pistols. We saw Shine do so much work in those clutches. I feel like Latic still put up many numbers with the AWP in hand, but I feel like the difference was when the pressure was to the max, and I feel like we saw it in that kind of final round of their T side. That when he got the no scope, he found the harder kill if anything, but just couldn't find that final blow, and that is really tough to see. But You know, it was an absolutely amazing series. It had literally everything. We saw dominance on the first 2 maps, but One a crazy comeback for them, especially after losing that first game very dominantly. But as you mentioned, obviously, Zero Tenacity versus Hotu will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. GMT, or BST, sorry. So at 7 p.m. CEST. So that should be an absolutely amazing game. And if you guys are enjoying the SCL League, make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and also the Twitter, so you get those updates about what games are being streamed, what times they're going live. And we only really have 2 more games of the season. Obviously that semi-final, and then we have the grand final. But I can't wait to see who will be joining One in that grand final. But that's been it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow for that second semi-final.